Chapter 160, Cruise. The sojourn to Yulong Manor concluded swiftly, leaving behind a tapestry of surreal experiences for Shin Junjie and his companions. However, on the journey back, both Shin Junjie and Mo Xiaoxiao fell into a contemplative silence, unsure of how to engage in conversation with Qin Fan, who occupied the co-driver's seat. Qin Fan. Mo Xiaoxiao eventually broke the silence. You needn't dwell too deeply on it, we have always been friends, she reassured. Qin Fan naturally discerned Mo Xiaoxiao's unspoken query. Yet, there were matters, mundane to mortals such as Shin Junjie and Mo Xiaoxiao, that were best left undisclosed, their involvement issued. They were to revel solely in the benefits bestowed upon them. At Mo Xiaoxiao and Shin Junjie's reaction, laughter ensued. Indeed, we remain steadfast friends, unwavering throughout, Shin Junjie chimed in, breaking into a smile. Precisely as I suspected, Mo Xiaoxiao rejoined, a relieved smile gracing her countenance rather indiscreetly. Mind your appearances, Shin Junjie admonished her. Only then did Mo Xiaoxiao heed his advice, diverting her attention to the recent events at hand. Soon thereafter, the entourage returned to Huahai City, with tranquility reigning henceforth. Qin Fan promptly sought a place for seclusion, awaiting his rendezvous with Lin Qingyan. In the blink of an eye, the appointed day arrived, signaled by Lin Qingyan's timely call. Where are you, Qin Fan? Lin Qingyan inquired. I am in the old city area of Huahai City, Qin Fan responded. Hurry over, the time draws near. Once we miss the departure, boarding the cruise will be nigh impossible, Lin Qingyan urged. Understood, Qin Fan acknowledged before terminating the call, promptly setting off to meet Lin Qingyan. Hailing a taxi, Qin Fan arrived at the port an hour later, greeted by the sight of a colossal cruise ship, stretching over 200 meters, moored at the shore. The ship gleamed with radiant lights atop, while below, a steady stream of passengers ascended the gangway. In the midst of the crowd, Qin Fan spotted Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui anxiously scanning their surroundings, evidently awaiting his arrival. Over here, Qin Fan called out as he hastened towards them. Brother Qin. Xiang Shui's face lit up with a brilliant smile upon seeing him. With Qin Fan's assistance, Xiang Shui had already rid herself of the lingering chill poison, leaving only the task of convalescence before she could resume her cultivation. You're rather tardy. Another 10 minutes, and boarding will be prohibited, Lin Qingyan reproached Qin Fan with a hint of exasperation. In that case, let us proceed, Qin Fan suggested. I say, why do you seem displeased at the prospect of joining us on this cruise? Lin Qingyan detected Qin Fan's demeanor, her own enthusiasm slightly dampened. I am delighted, Qin Fan assured with a smile. Your sincerity is lacking, Lin Qingyan retorted with a roll of her eyes. Elder sister, brother Qin, let's make haste in board, Xiang Shui intervened, addressing both Lin Qingyan and Qin Fan. Without further ado, the trio boarded the vessel together. Where are the others from your company? Qin Fan inquired casually. They boarded earlier, we were simply waiting for you, Lin Qingyan clarified. Ah, I see, Qin Fan acknowledged. After presenting the 3 tickets, Lin Qingyan led the way onto the ship. The vessel was spacious, adorned with reclining chairs upon the deck. As it was nearing the end of summer, the chairs were occupied by numerous handsome men and beautiful women. However, none could rival the trio of Qin Fan. Especially Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui, meticulously adorned tonight, truly radiating resplendence, while Qin Fan, though dressed casually, exuded a charm and demeanor befitting a dashing gentleman leading 2 exquisite beauties. He drew many glances the moment they stepped aboard the ship. Hey, ladies! Even before entering the cabin, someone approached them, a fair-skinned individual with blonde hair. Xiang Shui was almost unfamiliar with such encounters, especially facing the advances of a fair-skinned person. She appeared somewhat apprehensive, immediately seeking refuge behind Qin Fan, her eyes warily fixed on the fair-skinned stranger. Sir, may I help you? Lin Qingyan didn't resist, instead politely inquired. I'm Robin, from England, Europe. The fair-skinned lad introduced himself somewhat awkwardly in Xia language, then proceeded to express his desire to get acquainted with Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui, citing their striking beauty as the reason. However, his advances were met with Lin Qingyan's unyielding refusal. After the rejection, the trio moved on. As they walked away, Robin stuck out his tongue and licked his lips, seemingly savoring a delicious treat. This fair-skinned pig. Qin Fan muttered as they walked. Fair-skinned pig? Upon hearing Qin Fan's term, Lin Qingyan widened her eyes and looked at him. That term of address seems somewhat impolite, don't you think? Qin Fan was momentarily speechless. He had inherited this term from the memories he absorbed. The original Qin fan harbored strong resentment towards Western Caucasians, often referring to them as fair-skinned pigs. Be cautious, that person seems odd, Qin fan warned. Approaching strangers is quite normal abroad, it's Western custom. Don't overthink it, Lin Qingyan interjected. That's what the books say indeed, but neither I nor elder sister are fond of such indiscriminate approaches, right, elder sister? Xiang Shui chimed in. Lin Qingyan nodded, then said, let's go, let's head to our reserved cabin. Qin fan didn't say much. It was normal for the two women not to sense anything, but Qin fan was different. The moment that fair-skinned lad approached, Qin fan felt something peculiar about his aura, unlike that of a human, rather reminiscent of a demon. Yes, that fair-skinned lad gave Qin fan an eerie sensation akin to a demon. In fact, there were other Caucasians on the ship, but Qin fan didn't sense that peculiar aura from them, it was only from that fair-skinned lad. However, to call him a demon would be inaccurate, there was still a distinct human aura about him. This was something Qin fan had never encountered before, not even in the vast Qingxian star domain. Hence, Qin fan found it odd. Soon, the three arrived at their reserved cabin and settled their belongings. At that moment, the cruise ship sounded its horn, slowly departing from the port and setting sail towards the sea. The crews would spend a day and a night at sea before returning. Let's go, it's time for dinner. After settling their belongings, Lin Qingyan immediately took Xiang Shui to the restaurant. Aren't you going to look after brother Qin? Xiang Shui asked as she was pulled along. He'll follow, he'll ensure our safety, Lin Qingyan assured. You called me here to serve as your bodyguard? Qin fan quipped. You don't know, Xiang Shui has gained some fame due to the Red Beauty advertisement. There will surely be many young gentlemen approaching her on the cruise. Do you want to be a good bodyguard? Lin Qingyan teased Qin fan. Red Beauty advertisement? What's that? Qin fan was momentarily stunned. It's a product from Tianjin Company, Red Beauty Elixir. Xiang Shui is the spokesperson. It's been selling like hotcakes, you didn't know? Lin Qingyan glared at Qin fan, saying, you claim to be Master Qin, associated with Tianjin Company, yet you don't even know what their products are. I don't believe you. Qin fan was at a loss for words. He truly didn't know that the first product of Tianjin Company was called Red Beauty Elixir. As for its popularity, that was to be expected. Elder sister, brother Qin doesn't understand women's products, Xiang Shui chimed in. Who said that? Even men use Red Beauty Elixir. I was actually thinking of having Qin fan do an advertisement for men, but he refused the moment he saw it, Lin Qingyan said. Let's not dwell on that, let's eat, Qin fan changed the subject. The three then made their way to the restaurant on the cruise. Upon entering, they noticed a woman who had become the center of attention. Chapter 161, Save Me. That woman is so beautiful, Xiang Shui couldn't help but remark as she gazed at the lady. She was a Western woman, with an extraordinarily delicate and beautiful appearance. What was most peculiar about her was her silver hair, rather than the usual blonde. Silver hair was typically associated with elderly women, devoid of vitality, yet hers exuded a vibrant aura, complementing her exquisite features, making her exceptionally stunning. Yes, indeed, she's stunning, like those superstars from the West, Lin Qingyan commented on the Western lady. But, that silver hair, why does it feel so familiar? Where have I seen it before? Elder sister, have you seen her before? Xiang Shui asked, showing surprise. I remember now. Suddenly, Lin Qingyan seemed to recall something, then took out her phone and accessed an English website. After a moment, Lin Qingyan exclaimed in surprise, it's really her, Dr. Catherine. Dr. Catherine? Who's that? Xiang Shui inquired. One of the world's best doctors, if not the absolute best. Lin Qingyan exclaimed. That impressive? Xiang Shui asked, utterly amazed. My grandmother's illness has stumped Xia for a long time, so I searched abroad for any possible solutions. I came across numerous papers and articles, many of which were authored by Dr. Catherine. She's hailed as the world's greatest doctor. I need to find a way to ask her to help treat my grandmother, Lin Qingyan explained. With determination, Lin Qingyan began to move forward, preparing to meet Dr. Catherine. However, before Lin Qingyan could approach, Dr. Catherine, under the protection of security personnel, left. Lin Qingyan attempted to catch up, only to be intercepted by the security personnel. What should we do? Lin Qingyan frowned in frustration at being unable to meet Dr.
Catherine. Elder sister, why don't you let Brother Qin treat your grandmother?
Xiang Shui approached, puzzled.
Brother Qin's medical skills are formidable.
Lin Qingyan glanced at Qin Fan and said, how can he compare to Dr.
Catherine?
I must find a way to meet her and ask for her help with my grandmother's treatment.
Qin Fan wore a helpless expression. It wasn't that he couldn't cure Lin Qingyan's grandmother, Yang Li, it was that Yang Li had never expressed a desire to be cured. Yan Li's mindset was to let nature take its course, with no desire for survival.
Therefore, no one could cure her.
Miss, if you want to see Dr.
Catherine, I can help you with that, a somewhat clumsy Xia language sounded at that moment. Lin Qingyan heard the voice and looked over, furrowing her brow. The speaker turned out to be the fair-skinned lad they had encountered earlier, Robin.
Robin looked at Lin Qingyan with a friendly smile.
Seeing Lin Qingyan's lack of response, he continued, I can take you to see Dr.
Catherine.
Thank you, but it's not necessary, Lin Qingyan replied, then turned to Qin Fan and Xiang Shui.
Let's go.
With that, Lin Qingyan led Xiang Shui and Qin Fan away, leaving the speaking fair-skinned lad, Robin, dumbfounded.
What's this turn of events?
Elder sister, why did we leave directly? Xiang Shui asked, feeling puzzled. No good deed goes unpunished, it's either deceit or theft. Lin Qingyan replied, you're quite clear-headed, Qin Fan chuckled. You presume me to be one of those facile maidens, readily ensnared by a mere interloper of fair skin, who, in addition, claims the ability to arrange a meeting with Dr.
Catherine.
Clearly, their aim is to manipulate me with this pretext, but they shall find no success. Lin Qingyan scoffed disdainfully. Sister, you are truly formidable, Xiang Shui admired her elder sister fervently.
Qin Fan nodded in agreement, acknowledging Lin Qingyan's astuteness.
At that moment of acknowledgement, his awareness swept towards the whereabouts of Robin. By then, Robin was already engaging with other women, swiftly succeeding in his endeavors, as he embraced one of them and headed towards the cabin. Qin Fan shook his head, paying no further heed, and proceeded to dine with Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui. The trio quickly concluded their meal and then wandered around the ship. It's rather dull, Xiang Shui remarked with a lack of enthusiasm indeed, unexpectedly so. I'd prefer returning to our cabin to work, Lin Qingyan nodded in agreement. The cruise ship boasted numerous facilities, including a music hall, dance floor, and even a casino, yet none of these held any appeal for Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui. Hence, the two of them independently returned to their respective cabins to work, paying no mind to the rest of the company, allowing them to revel as they pleased. Qin Fan, however, remained, ascending to the deck to observe the life of the guests aboard. Perhaps he would find some enlightenment or even experience a manifestation of divine will. As time passed and night descended, the lights on the cruise ship dimmed, and the clamor gradually receded, leaving the entire vessel adrift upon the tranquil sea. On the deck, Qin Fan sat silently, cross-legged, absorbing the spiritual essence of the sea for cultivation. In the city, spiritual essence was sparse, but out on the sea, it was considerably richer. Suddenly, his phone vibrated. He immediately retrieved it to find a message from Lin Qingyan, containing just 2 words, help me. Upon seeing these words, Qin Fan's brow furrowed slightly, and he promptly dialed back. After a few rings, only the sound of a switched-off phone reached his ears. Qin Fan stood up abruptly and swiftly made his way to the rooms of Xiang Shui and Lin Qingyan.
Who took them?
Qin Fan entered to find the rooms empty, then proceeded outside while releasing his spiritual awareness. However, as soon as Qin Fan's spiritual awareness expanded, it caused him a sudden headache. On a cruise ship filled mostly with couples at this hour, Qin Fan's awareness swept through, inundating him with numerous unsavory images.
Utterly polluted. He immediately narrowed his focus, searching for the whereabouts of Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui.
Simultaneously, a figure materialized gracefully outside the most luxurious room on the upper deck of the cruise ship. This figure belonged to a Caucasian man, his crimson pupils shimmering brilliantly in the night, as he effortlessly carried Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui in each hand. The door swung open, and the man entered. Doctor, your midnight snack is served, he announced upon entering. Receiving no response, he proceeded to close the door behind him and laid Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui on the bed.
Robin, what are you fussing about in the dead of night?
A lazy and seductive voice emanated from the bathroom, followed by a graceful figure emerging from the bathtub, completely nude, exuding an irresistible allure. However, as the bathroom door opened, a stench of blood permeated the air.
If an ordinary person were here, they would likely retch immediately.
The woman emerged from the bathroom, her porcelain-like legs and voluptuous buttocks displayed under the moonlight, her silver hair cascading over her chest and hips, exuding a profoundly seductive aura. Rivulets of blood continued to flow down her body, yet she remained indifferent, allowing the blood to flow freely.
Suddenly, her light blue eyes turned blood red, swiftly absorbing the blood into her skin.
As she turned her gaze towards the bathroom, a male corpse lay within. The blood of the warriors from Xia country is nothing remarkable. She waved her hand, and a garment flew onto her body effortlessly. So, I prepared a delightful midnight snack for the doctor tonight, Robin grinned, revealing sharp teeth.
Chapter 162 Submission, or Death.
Upon hearing Robin's words, Catherine glanced at the two women on the bed, their beauty rivaling her own. She couldn't help but reveal her sharp teeth, but she quickly composed herself, her expression turning icy. Robin, the Kunlun of Xia country is exceptionally troublesome, and have you forgotten Hua Tianqing's warning? There's the enigmatic Master Qin here. Robin smirked dismissively, retorting, if Hua Tianqing were formidable, he wouldn't have stayed abroad for so many years without daring to set foot in Xia country. In his eyes, Master Qin is probably nothing more than rubbish I could easily crush.
Catherine shook her head, unafraid of Master Qin.
Yet, this was Xia country, the second most powerful nation in the world, now challenging the reigning superpower. The Kunlun of Xia country was among the most formidable organizations globally. However, as Catherine's gaze fell upon Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui, she couldn't resist licking her lips, their blood emitting an irresistible aroma. Especially the older one, Lin Qingyan, the purity of her blood seemed to harbor a marvelous power. If she drained her blood, Catherine believed she could become a viscountess. It was truly tantalizing.
Regaining her composure, she inquired, where did you find these two women?
Met them on the ship. They were accompanied by a commoner.
So, doctor, feel free to enjoy, Robin replied. Both women's blood, regardless of which, was incredibly pure and contained an irresistible power that even vampires couldn't resist.
Especially Lin Qingyan, with her age, the purity within her blood was something he hadn't encountered in his century-long existence.
Give me this one, the other is for you, Catherine pointed to Lin Qingyan.
As she spoke, she swiftly appeared beside Lin Qingyan, revealing her sharp teeth as she lunged for her neck. However, in that instant, she abruptly straightened, then spoke, Robin, it seems you haven't cleaned up properly, someone found out.
Is it Xia country's warriors? Robin's face darkened.
Good, I've been wanting to taste the blood of Xia country's warriors. As he spoke, his eyes turned blood red, his mouth revealing rows of sharp teeth. At that moment, the door opened silently, and a figure walked in.
Upon entering, Robin froze. It's you.
Who?
Catherine asked, puzzled. The person accompanying these two women.
Robin immediately replied. The person accompanying these two women doesn't possess true qi, they're neither warriors nor commoners. Catherine frowned. After Qin Fan entered and scanned with his spiritual awareness, he found Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui unharmed but unconscious. He then turned to them and asked, you both seem neither human nor demon.
I'm curious, what are you? What do you mean by neither human nor demon?
We are vampires, noble vampires. Robin's anger was ignited by Qin Fan's words. Sharp nails grew on his hands, exuding a murderous intent.
Vampires? Blood demons?
Qin Fan frowned upon hearing this but shook his head.
No, not demons.
More like demons, blood demons. I don't know what you're talking about. We are noble vampires. I am Catherine Kate, a baroness among the vampires, akin to your martial arts grandmasters. And Robin is my servant, equivalent to your innate warriors. Catherine elegantly introduced herself, seemingly unfazed by Qin Fan.
What vampires? I don't understand.
I only know that you both emit the aura of blood demons, but it's not pure enough. You seem like hybrids born of blood demons and humans, Qin Fan remarked.
Who do you call a hybrid? Robin was completely infuriated by Qin Fan's insult and immediately roared.
In the next moment, his figure flickered, transforming into a black shadow, swiftly closing in on Qin Fan.
Vampires possess stronger physical bodies than ordinary humans, so Catherine and Robin were innate warriors.
In reality, Robin's strength was already that of a half-step grandmaster. As he approached Qin Fan, his claw aimed for Qin Fan's throat, intending to snap it directly. However, as soon as his hand stretched out, he felt his throat constricted, already gripped by a hand, which tightened swiftly, followed by being lifted up. Crack. The next moment, a sound of fracture echoed, the bone-crunching sound reverberating. Robin's head twisted to the side, his crimson eyes bulging, filled with terror. Thud. Qin Fan casually snapped Robin's neck, then tossed him to the ground. Robin's pupils instantly dilated, devoid of life. You killed him. Catherine's pupils contracted at the sight, blood-red flames seemingly ignited in her eyes. Robin was her servant, but more importantly, a member of the vampire clan. Vampires had long lifespans, but reproduction was difficult, resulting in a relatively small population. Thus, every vampire was precious to the entire clan. In an instant, Robin was dead, enraging her to the core. Caught my two friends, shouldn't I kill them? Qin Fan had already approached Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui. He shook his head, thinking it would be safe on the cruise ship, even warning them to be careful of Robin, yet he hadn't stayed by their side, and they were abducted. It's an honor for them to become food for our vampire clan. Catherine grinned, revealing her sharp, white teeth. Her silver hair billowed, resembling a blood-sucking demon. Then, it's your honor to be killed by me, Qin Fan said calmly. Summer countryman, I swear by the ancestor of blood, I will drain every drop of your blood. Catherine's voice rumbled deeply. The next moment, her figure vanished, blending completely into the darkness of the night. This was the nature of vampires, able to merge into the darkness of the night, making it impossible for warriors to gain an upper hand in nighttime battles against them. However, just as she disappeared into the night, a large hand, as if tearing through the darkness, reached out and grabbed her silver hair, pulling her out of the darkness. Catherine hadn't even realized what had happened when Qin Fan slammed her to the ground, pressing his foot on her pristine, slender neck. Now choose, submit, or die. Qin Fan's eyes were ice-cold as he stared down at Catherine. Chapter 163 Bloodline? Catherine lay on the ground, gazing at Qin Fan with uncertainty. This man clearly didn't emit the aura of a warrior, so why was he so powerful? She felt as though her entire body was locked in place by an unknown force, unable to move at all. And now, her life and death were in his hands. Who are you? Catherine asked. Qin Fan's displayed strength was that of a grandmaster, and perhaps even beyond. However, according to intelligence reports, Jiangnan and Huahai were not the weakest areas of Xia country. This was a place without grandmasters. She had come here precisely because there were no grandmasters. But when did such a terrifying person appear here? Qin Fan, he replied. Qin Fan, Qin's surname. Your master Qin. Catherine exclaimed in astonishment. You still haven't answered my question, Qin Fan said instead of replying. Upon hearing this, Catherine's pupils contracted. Would the noble bloodline of the vampires submit to humans? Especially considering she was a vampire baroness. Master Qin, I have no grievances with you. This is just a misunderstanding. If you let me go, I can compensate you. If you kill me, it will only invite retaliation from the vampires. Catherine immediately pleaded. I've already killed one. Killing a few more or exterminating your entire clan would be just as effortless, Qin Fan stated. As he spoke, he slowly increased the pressure with his foot, making Catherine feel difficulty breathing. I'm willing to submit. Without much thought, Catherine immediately spoke up. Hearing her voice, Qin Fan eased the pressure and then sat down on the sofa, saying, You can get up now. As his words fell, Catherine immediately felt the oppressive force dissipate, and her body could move again. She quickly got up, her mind racing as she pondered how to deal with Qin Fan next. Don't bother thinking. You can only obediently serve as my subordinate, or else you'll die. Qin Fan's voice rang out as Catherine contemplated. Startled by Qin Fan's voice, Catherine was caught off guard. And in that moment of surprise, a mysterious force rushed into her mind, and she clearly felt a spell appearing in her mind. In an instant, an excruciating pain tore through her brain. She felt as though her head was being pierced by countless needles, on the verge of exploding. She couldn't even scream, she could only clutch her silver hair, wanting to smash her head against a wall. However, this sensation lasted only 5 or 6 seconds before disappearing. Catherine gasped for air continuously, her eyes filled with terror as she looked at Qin Fan. So don't have any other intentions. I can make you die with just a thought, Qin Fan said calmly as he gazed at Catherine. Terror filled Catherine's eyes as she stared at Qin Fan. Catherine's true intention was to stabilize Qin Fan and then seek help from the vampires, even overseas forces. Indeed, Qin Fan was strong, but within the vampire clan, there were counts who surpassed grandmasters and were equivalent to transcendent masters. Even if that count didn't intervene, there were viscounts, and even grandmasters overseas, so she could still be saved. However, the experience just now, the man in front of her wasn't bluffing. Her life and death truly lay in his hands with just a single thought. In the end, Catherine trembled slightly, lowered her head, and then shakily said, "Master, I am willing to become your most loyal servant." Xin Fan nodded and spoke, "Now, I have a few questions for you, answer them truthfully." "Master, please ask." "I will not hide anything I know," Catherine replied. "Why did you capture them, especially Lin Qingyan?" Xin Fan asked. Capturing Xiang Shui could be understood. The Yin spirit body was attractive to any practicing beings. The blood in Xiang Shui's body could be considered spiritual blood, used to refine blood spirit pills, or could be consumed directly, like by vampires. But Lin Qingyan was different. She was just an ordinary person. She was attractive, but not significantly more than Catherine herself. However, Xin Fan could clearly feel that both Robin and Catherine valued Lin Qingyan more than Xiang Shui. "Master, the blood of this woman is very special. It has an irresistible attraction to me instinctively," Catherine explained. "You mean Lin Qingyan's blood is extraordinary? How so?" Xin Fan asked in surprise. "It's hard to describe, but her blood really makes me instinctively want to consume it. If Master hadn't arrived, I would have definitely drunk her blood clean. Moreover, I feel that as long as I consume her blood, I can become a viscount, or a grandmaster in martial arts," Catherine said. Xin Fan fell into thought at her words. Suddenly, a flash crossed his mind. Bloodline. Could Lin Qingyan's bloodline be extraordinary? There were many types of aptitude for cultivation, such as spiritual roots, physique, etc. Among them, there was one type that was often overlooked: bloodline. Because the power of bloodline often needed to be awakened, and once awakened, it was no less than any physique, and even surpassed it. And the unawakened bloodline was difficult to discern any peculiarities. However, as a vampire, Catherine's instinctive craving for blood showed that Lin Qingyan's bloodline was very likely to be extraordinary. Xin Fan's gaze fell on Lin Qingyan, feeling quite surprised. He hadn't expected Lin Qingyan's bloodline to be so unusual. "Master, who is this woman?" Catherine asked tentatively at this moment. "My girlfriend," Xin Fan said. Catherine was horrified when she heard this. If she had bitten Lin Qingyan just now, she would have definitely died. "Second question, earlier you mentioned Master Qin. How did you know about Master Qin?" Xin Fan continued. "Master, we learned about Master Qin through Hua Tianqing." "Because Master Qin has already been put on the kill list of the Hua Tian sect," Catherine replied. "I just didn't expect to encounter you here." "Hua Tianqing? Do you know Hua Tianqing? Did he send you to Xia country?" Xin Fan asked. "We know Hua Tianqing, but it wasn't Hua Tianqing who sent us to Xia country. We came to Xia country voluntarily," Catherine said. "Why did you come to Xia country voluntarily? Was someone inviting you for treatment?" Xin Fan asked. "Treatment?" Catherine was slightly startled by the question, then said, "It's true that someone invited me for treatment this time in Xia country, but that's not the main reason. The real reason is the trend of the times." "The trend of the times? What do you mean?" Xin Fan was puzzled. "Master, in recent years, Xia country has been developing peacefully, and its strength has been continuously growing. It has become the second strongest country in the world, and there's even a trend to surpass the strongest country, Eagle country. This kind of thing is absolutely unacceptable in the West. The West has always believed that only they can dominate the world. Xia country is not allowed to surpass the West, let alone challenge their status. So, the West is using all kinds of means to suppress Xia country. Among them, the martial arts world is the core of the Western suppression. To strike at the martial arts world of Xia country, more and more Western meta-humans will enter Xia country. They want to destroy Xia country's martial arts world from the root. Robin and I came opportunistically to pave the way for the vampires. Because Xia country has been a wealthy country from ancient times to the present, even in ancient times, it had various miraculous legacies that earlier we enter Xia country, lurk within, and quietly wait for the big changes, the more benefits we can gain. And that is my goal. Chapter 164, Wang Tianyi wishes to meet you. The Westerners are indeed arrogant. What does it mean not allowing the Eastern Xia kingdom to surpass the West? Xin Fan couldn't help but smile at Catherine's words, his tone tinged with disdain. The West has led the world for 200 years, and a century ago, it trampled the Xia kingdom underfoot. Therefore, the West absolutely cannot allow the rise of the Xia kingdom to overshadow them. And this blow to the Xia kingdom's cultivation world will be the first step, and each subsequent step will be even more frantic, Catherine said to Qin Fan.
Success? Do you think it's possible? Qin Fan asked in return. I'm not sure, because like me, I'm just a minor character, Catherine said. If you're a minor character, what about the big shots? Qin Fan inquired. Big shots?
Someone like Hua Tianqing, a grandmaster, is considered a big shot, Catherine replied.
Hua Tianqing, again. Is he really formidable? Qin Fan asked.
He had heard this name many times before, but he had never paid it much attention.
He became a grandmaster 5 years ago.
It's rumored that he obtained an artifact, and now he's comprehending it. But according to the information I received, he's about to finish and will likely come to the Xia kingdom soon.
And his first stop is Jiangnan.
Catherine said to Qin Fan, her expression playful.
Coming to find me?
Qin Fan chuckled at the thought. Yes, his first target is to defeat Master Qin, Catherine laughed, revealing her sharp teeth. And what she hoped for was Hua Tianqing defeating Qin Fan, or even killing him, so she could escape her predicament.
What is the artifact he obtained?
Qin Fan asked. Catherine was taken aback, not expecting Qin Fan to be interested in this.
Did he think he could defeat Hua Tianqing?
Hua Tianqing was a grandmaster, and among grandmasters, he was exceptionally powerful, ranking first on the Earth ranking. If judged by her own strength, one punch from Hua Tianqing could kill 10 of her.
I don't know.
It's a secret, and no one knows, Catherine said. Qin Fan stopped asking and instead said, I heard your medical skills are exceptional.
Yes, master.
Vampires have long lifespans.
Despite my youthful appearance, I am actually 231 years old.
Medicine has been one of my hobbies for these 200 years, Catherine said with a smile.
I see you're just interested in the human body, Qin Fan replied.
Catherine stiffened at his words. She studied medicine with the intention of inflicting pain on humans through bloodsucking, but unwittingly became the world's top doctor. Tomorrow, I'll give you a task. Find a way to get acquainted with Lin Qingyan, Qin Fan said. Catherine was stunned by his words. Do it, and remember, our relationship must not be revealed to Lin Qingyan, Qin Fan said. Although Catherine was puzzled, she dared not disobey, so she nodded. Very well, I should leave now, Qin Fan said, getting up. And as he rose, Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui floated into the air and landed in his hands. In the next moment, Qin Fan disappeared before Catherine's eyes.
Phew, Catherine breathed a sigh of relief at Qin Fan's disappearance, then said, No, I can't just sit and wait for death.
Ah! Just as she uttered those words, her head was struck with intense pain again, as if she wished to chop her head off. I'll warn you again, don't harbor any rebellious thoughts. Your life and death are only at my whim. Qin Fan's voice echoed in Catherine's mind.
I won't dare anymore.
Catherine's voice trembled. Immediately, the intense pain vanished.
Catherine broke out in a cold sweat, collapsed on the ground, panting heavily. What kind of method is this?
The curse technique of the witch god sect. Catherine's face was filled with horror. But even the curse techniques of the witch god sect shouldn't be able to monitor me like this, or even seem to steal my thoughts. Catherine dared not delve deeper into her thoughts, fearing that she might indeed meet her demise if she did. Meeting that Lin Qingyan tomorrow should be a simple matter. Catherine thought, reflecting on the task Qin Fan had assigned her.
The next day,
Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui sat in the dining hall, looking pensive as if they felt they had forgotten something. Meanwhile, Qin Fan enjoyed breakfast across from them on the cruise ship. After returning, Qin Fan cast a spell of forgetfulness on the two, causing them to forget about the events of the previous night. However, memory loss always had some lingering effects, as was evident now. At this moment, a somewhat awkward remark in broken Xia Kingdom language sounded nearby, bringing Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shui back to reality. Lin Qingyan then looked towards the speaker, her surprise evident as she exclaimed, "Dr.
Catherine? Do you know me?"
Catherine said in broken Xia Kingdom language, her astonishment apparent.
Of course, Lin Qingyan replied immediately, switching to fluent English. It's an honor, Catherine smiled at Lin Qingyan. May I join you?
Of course, please sit, Lin Qingyan immediately replied. She had been thinking about how to meet Catherine, but she hadn't expected Catherine to take the initiative to talk to her. This was truly unexpected. Indeed, the allure of the red youth elixir made women from all over the world fond of it. "My apologies," Catherine politely addressed Xin Fan. "Oh," Xin Fan glanced at Catherine and said. "What's with your attitude? Can't you be a bit more polite?" Lin Xingyan felt displeased at Xin Fan's treatment of Catherine. "It's fine," Catherine said with a smile and then sat down next to Xin Fan. After Catherine took her seat, the three women started chatting about cosmetics, naturally mentioning the red youth elixir. Then, Lin Xingyan even took out the red youth elixir to share with Catherine. Upon seeing the red youth elixir and trying it out, Catherine's expression was filled with immense surprise. "My goodness, there's actually such an amazing cosmetic in the world." Xin Fan, upon hearing this, glanced sideways. "You, a half-blooded demon, still use cosmetics?" Of course, Xin Fan didn't say anything but let the three women continue chatting. As the conversation between the three women heated up, Xin Fan couldn't help but marvel. Catherine, being a 200-year-old vampire, was indeed skilled in conversation. She chatted with Lin Xingyan and Xiang Shui as if they were old friends. Xin Fan shook his head, thinking to himself, "Truly, I don't understand women very well. They can chat so much about cosmetics." At that moment, Xin Fan's phone rang. He took out his phone and saw that it was a call from Jiang Qingning. He then stood up and walked to a secluded area to answer the phone. "Is there something wrong?" he asked. "Xin Fan, Wang Tianyi wants to see you," Jiang Qingning's voice came through the phone. Chapter 165, I couldn't care less. "Wang Tianyi wants to see me?" Xin Fan inquired. "Yes, Wang Tianyi wants to meet the boss of Tianjin. Will you meet him or not?" Jiang Qingning asked. "If I don't meet him, will it cause you trouble?" Xin Fan asked. In truth, Xin Fan had no desire to meet this Wang Tianyi. The Wang family was currently at the peak of their power, and the young master of the Wang family held a high position. Whether in Jiangnan or Huahai City, no one dared to offend him. However, Xin Fan couldn't care less. "If you don't meet him, I can try to refuse, but as you said, it would indeed be troublesome. The Wang family is currently thriving, and if I refuse, there will definitely be continuous trouble afterwards. Moreover, Tianjin Company is preparing to establish a branch in Huahai. By then, the Wang family will surely resort to measures." Jiang Qingning informed Xin Fan of the current situation. "Tianjin is preparing to establish a branch in Huahai so quickly?" Xin Fan was somewhat surprised. "Are you, the boss of Tianjin Company, unaware of how popular the red youth elixir is now?" Jiang Qingning responded, somewhat annoyed. "I actually didn't know," Xin Fan admitted. "Let me tell you, the profit from the red youth elixir in the first month has already exceeded 2 billion. And this is only in Jiangnan and the surrounding areas with a population of over 50 million. I haven't even started nationwide promotion yet. Once we promote it nationwide, I estimate the monthly profit will exceed 20 billion. To promote it nationwide, it's inevitable to establish branches in Huahai, which will also prepare for future global expansion. So, hurry up and produce more red youth elixir for me. What you've made is simply not enough to sell." Jiang Qingning complained to Xin Fan. "Why do I sense some dissatisfaction in your tone?" Xin Fan noticed and asked. "Sob." Jiang Qingning suddenly burst into tears. "As the CEO, I'm doing the same work as a boss's secretary. Doing the secretary's work is bad enough, but not even getting a reward. And then, after going to Huahai for so many days, you didn't even contact me. Instead, you went to frolic with women on a cruise ship. I'm so heartbroken." Xin Fan was speechless at Jiang Qingning's words. "How did you know I was on the cruise ship?" "I arranged for Lin Qingyan's company to go on the cruise. She even specially left a ticket for you. She really likes you," Jiang Qingning said somewhat resentfully. "Let's not talk about this." Xin Fan felt a bit awkward listening to this. His relationship with Lin Qingyan was fake, after all. And, come to think of it, the contract end date was less than 3 months away. "Okay, let's get back to business. Will you meet Wang Tianyi?" Jiang Qingning returned to the main topic. "I'll meet him, to spare you trouble," Xin Fan said. "All right, I'll come to Huahai to find you," Jiang Qingning immediately said. "Huahai? Won't you return to Jiangcheng?" Xin Fan asked. "I'll talk to him directly on the Wang family's turf."
If negotiations fail, I'll just overthrow their territory, Jiang Qingning suddenly laughed. Xin Fan couldn't help but laugh at her confidence. How did you become so confident? You gave it to me. Anyway, it's best if we can reach an agreement through negotiation, but if not, I have you, Jiang Qingning said. Okay, I'll wait for you in Huahai then, Xin Fan replied. Now that this matter is settled, let's talk about another issue, Jiang Qingning said. The matter with the military? Xin Fan immediately guessed. How did you know? Jiang Qingning responded immediately. I declined. I can't teach them, Xin Fan immediately said. I can't refuse. It's the high-ranking officials of the Jiangnan military region who requested to visit you, Jiang Qingning said somewhat angrily. In that case, just leave it to me, Xin Fan immediately said. Alright, Jiang Qingning said helplessly. If there's nothing else, let's hang up, Xin Fan continued. Okay, I'll contact you when I get to Huahai. I'll hang up now, Jiang Qingning responded before ending the call. Xin Fan hung up the phone and walked back. He saw the three women still engrossed in their conversation, even switching to speaking English to accommodate Catherine. With Xin Fan's mental prowess, learning a foreign language was just a matter of moments, so he naturally understood. The conversation had now shifted to Lin Qingyan's grandmother's illness. Really, Catherine, are you willing to go to Jiangcheng to help my grandmother? Lin Qingyan's face lit up with joy. Of course, we get along so well. Helping your grandmother is really a small matter for me. I can go to Jiangcheng anytime, Catherine readily agreed. This is where my help ends, Xin Fan muttered to himself upon hearing their conversation. For the next while, Xin Fan accompanied Lin Qingyan and the other two women as they wandered around the cruise ship. Due to Catherine's presence, there were no obstacles on board. Until the next day, when the cruise ship docked, everyone disembarked feeling satisfied with their trip. After getting off the cruise ship, Xin Fan made an excuse that he still had matters to attend to in Huahai City and stayed behind. Lin Qingyan's heart was already set on Jiangcheng, thinking of ways to bring Yang Li to Jiangcheng and then have Catherine treat her. So, Xin Fan bid farewell to Lin Qingyan and Xiang Shuaz for Catherine. Xin Fan handed her the keys to the Tianzino One villa, asking her to take care of it. Because there was a formation laid there, gathering spiritual energy slowly, it would later become a haven for cultivation, easily attracting cultivators. Especially the segment of rottenwood planted in the garden, it required someone to look after it. Catherine took the keys, feeling reluctant. She felt like she was being treated as a maid. All you men from the Xia kingdom want a silver-haired maid, Catherine left a remark, feeling unwilling, and then set off for Jiangcheng alone. After seeing them off, Xin Fan's next task was to wait for Jiang Qingning to arrive and then go meet Wang Tianyi, the young master of the Wang family. However, just as he was thinking about it, Jiang Qingning's call came in. Don't tell me you've already arrived in Huahai? Xin Fan answered the call and immediately asked. Look behind you. Jiang Qingning chuckled on the other end of the line. Xin Fan turned around and saw a Maserati parked nearby. Standing beside it was a fashionable woman wearing sunglasses, waving at him with her phone in hand. Xin Fan shook his head and walked over, while Jiang Qingning continued on the phone, Get in. Xin Fan then got into Jiang Qingning's car. Let's go meet Wang Tianyi. Xin Fan immediately said. We're already on our way, Jiang Qingning replied with a smile, but she didn't start the car. Why did you come to pick me up so early then? Xin Fan asked. You've spent 2 days with Lin Qingyan, isn't it my turn now? Jiang Qingning smiled and said. Accompany you? Xin Fan was momentarily taken aback. Yes, being your secretary is really tough. Boss, shouldn't you reward me? Jiang Qingning said with a smile. Reward you by accompanying you? Xin Fan laughed. Have you forgotten what I told you before? Jiang Qingning asked. What did you say? Xin Fan inquired. I said I'm pursuing you. Jiang Qingning raised her voice. I have a girlfriend. Xin Fan immediately replied. He hadn't expected that the few times he had acted as Lin Qingyan's shield would now lead to Lin Qingyan becoming his shield. I don't care. Jiang Qingning suddenly leaned closer to Xin Fan, her breath fragrant as she spoke each word deliberately. Chapter 166, Touching the Divine Will Again. Xin Fan gazed at Jiang Qingning with a face of astonishment. Indifferent? Yes, not only am I indifferent, but I am also willing to accompany Lin Qingyan, as long as she is willing, Jiang Qingning spoke with a coquettish tone. Qin Fan looked at Jiang Qingning somewhat speechless.
Jiang Qingning, the young lady of the Jiang family, known for her coldness and nobility, hailed as the top female CEO in Jiangcheng, now appeared to be a woman infatuated with love. To be honest, spending time on me is meaningless. I will leave sooner or later, Qin Fan suddenly remarked.
Leave? Where to?
Jiang Qingning was momentarily stunned to the stars, Qin Fan stated.
The stars? Jiang Qingning paused for a moment, then said, Do you want to go to space?
It costs quite a sum, but money is trivial for Tianqin Company, and I can accompany you then.
Jiang Qingning understood Qin Fan's intention as a cosmic journey.
Qin Fan did not explain further. His journey to the stars was to seek revenge in the Qingxian star domain. Thus, he said, let's drive. Jiang Qingning responded and started her Maserati. Soon, the car arrived at the largest mall in Huahai City.
Why are we here? Qin Fan asked.
My reward is having you accompany me, to stroll and shop. Jiang Qingning parked the car and smiled enchantingly at Qin Fan.
Qin Fan.
And, look at your attire, it's time for a change. You can't meet Wang Tianyi in such ordinary clothes, Jiang Qingning added. Moreover, I didn't bring any clothes with me, I can't keep wearing this outfit. At this moment, Qin Fan was dressed in casual attire, worth around 700 to 800, undoubtedly decent among ordinary people but not fitting for him. All right, Qin Fan acquiesced, considering it an experience of mortal life. With that, Jiang Qingning and Qin Fan entered the mall.
The mall was filled with a dazzling array of items.
As a fashion-conscious woman, Jiang Qingning had discerning taste. Upon entering, she immediately chose the top-tier international brand store. Once inside the store, Jiang Qingning transformed into a shopping woman, leaving Qin Fan on the sidelines to pick out clothes.
Qin Fan could only sit there bored, watching Jiang Qingning select clothes.
As he looked around, he realized he didn't have many spare clothes, most were bought by Lin Qingyan. I indeed should pick a few, Qin Fan thought, scanning the store.
Qin Fan, how about this outfit?
At this moment, Jiang Qingning had already changed into new clothes and walked over to him, asking. Qin Fan glanced at Jiang Qingning. She was wearing a blue long dress, embellished with crystal-like waves on the hem, accentuating Jiang Qingning's noble and aloof demeanor. Not only that, but the size of this blue dress fit exceptionally well, exuding a fatal charm for men amidst its coldness. Very good, it suits you well, Qin Fan said promptly.
Indeed, my taste matches, Jiang Qingning rejoiced.
She really liked this outfit, but of course, Qin Fan's approval was most important. This indicated that Qin Fan and she were still very compatible. I'll take this one, Jiang Qingning said to the saleswoman. Upon hearing this, the saleswoman was extremely surprised. Glancing at the handsome couple, after all, this long dress cost 280,000, quite expensive. She looked at Qin Fan, her thoughts quickly turning, then smiled. Your husband is so considerate.
This 28,000 CN sky long dress is our flagship item, and there's only one left.
As the words fell, Jiang Qingning was first taken aback, then her smile became even brighter. Husband. The saleswoman's face carried a smile. Being a professional, keen observation was essential. She observed this handsome couple and knew that this woman, who impressed her and even made her jealous, harbored a deep admiration for that young man. Regardless of whether this woman was the young man's wife, girlfriend, or lover, speaking like this would definitely please her.
At least, she wouldn't be repulsed, right?
Moreover, she deliberately mentioned the price, but the other party didn't resist at all and seemed very happy. Therefore, she felt that this business was successful. Sure enough, Jiang Qingning was in a really good mood and decisively handed her bank card to the saleswoman. I'll take it.
Qin Fan smiled there, finding the term husband quite interesting.
Suddenly, he felt everything around him disappear, feeling as if he stood alone between heaven and earth, a strange mood slowly entering his heart once again. It's a hint of divine will. In an instant, Qin Fan's heart stirred. In this moment, he once again touched the realm of divine will, and his spiritual perception strengthened slightly at that moment.
Qin Fan, what's wrong with you?
Jiang Qingning's voice suddenly came, pulling Qin Fan back from his contemplation.
Qin Fan looked at Jiang Qingning and smiled. Would you also help me choose a few outfits?
Jiang Qingning was genuinely surprised by the favor. Previously, Qin Fan didn't object to being called husband, and now he was asking her to select clothes, allowing her to exercise the authority of a wife. Immediately, Jiang Qingning carefully helped Qin Fan pick out clothes. Jiang Qingning's taste was naturally excellent, and she quickly selected several outfits for Qin Fan. Each outfit Qin Fan tried on surprised the saleswoman in the store immensely. Wrapped them all up, Zhang Qingning said, unable to contain her smile, thoroughly impressed. After that, she handed over her bank card again. The saleswoman was truly astonished because the clothes they bought were all limited edition, totaling over 1 million.
Yet, this woman bought them without batting an eye. So generous. However, amid her surprise, there was also puzzlement. Shouldn't the man be paying?
This man is so handsome, probably some celebrity being kept by this woman.
But this woman is also so beautiful, why would she keep a man?
Women tend to be more gossipy, imagining all sorts of scenarios, but on the surface, they didn't reveal any of it, just looked at them with strange eyes. Soon, Qin Fan changed into his new clothes, and the other clothes were also wrapped up.
Seeing Qin Fan's outstanding appearance, Zhang Qingning was extremely satisfied, proud of her own judgment. Where to next?
Zhang Qingning asked with a smile. You asked me to accompany you, so you decide, Qin Fan replied with a smile.
The saleswoman's gaze became even more peculiar upon hearing this. This is indeed a kept man.
Okay, I'll arrange it, Zhang Qingning said with a smile. The two of them walked out.
However, when Zhang Qingning reached the entrance of the store, she suddenly stopped and smiled at the saleswoman beside her. Do you think he's a kept man?
The saleswoman was momentarily stunned and hurriedly said, Miss, you've misunderstood. Don't worry, I'm very satisfied with your service, but I still have to say, although this gentleman hasn't paid, and everything was arranged by me, in reality, everything of mine belongs to him. With that, Zhang Qingning strode out of the shop like a princess and caught up with Qin Fan, leaving behind a bewildered saleswoman. In reality, Zhang Qingning didn't need to explain all this, but she truly disliked Qin Fan being looked down upon, which made her very uncomfortable. How could she let others disrespect the man she liked? Qin Fan naturally heard Zhang Qingning's words and could only smile. Qin Fan didn't care about the opinions of others, nor would he fly into a rage or even resort to violence because of the idle gazes of others. However, Zhang Qingning's actions did cause a slight stir in his heart.
Human feelings are delicate, but they can also be the most hurtful. That's why I keep my distance. Qin Fan sighed inwardly. Qin Fan, let's go have Japanese cuisine, Zhang Qingning said as she naturally took Qin Fan's hand.
Sure, Qin Fan replied.
Chapter 167, I'm going to kill someone. Zhang Qingning brought Qin Fan to the most famous Japanese restaurant in Huahai.
It's quite delicious, Qin Fan said, tasting Japanese cuisine for the first time, finding it palatable.
Yeah, this place is renowned.
If I ever come to Huahai, I'll definitely visit, and having you with me today makes it even more enjoyable. Zhang Qingning smiled at Qin Fan, her face radiant. Qin Fan smiled back, choosing not to respond to Zhang Qingning's emotions, and quietly ate his meal. Seeing Qin Fan's lack of response, Zhang Qingning felt a bit disappointed, but she didn't lose heart. She believed that Qin Fan's heart would eventually soften. After a while, loud noises suddenly came from the neighboring room, followed by quarreling. Zhang Qingning became unhappy. This disrupted their pleasant time together.
Immediately, she summoned a waiter, asking with displeasure, "What's going on?"
"It's affecting our dining experience." "I'm sorry, miss, I'll take care of it right away," the waiter said promptly. After speaking, the waiter rushed out. Not even a minute later, the room next door became even more noisy, and then there was a bang, as if someone had been thrown out.
"What's happening?"
Zhang Qingning became increasingly angry at the disturbance and then gestured to Qin Fan before getting up, wanting to see what was going on outside the door. She saw a middle-aged man shouting, "Who the hell said I was making noise?" And the waiter from earlier was lying on the ground. Zhang Qingning was taken aback by this scene. This Japanese restaurant belonged to the highest class in Huahai, and those who could come here had considerable incomes and status. Generally, people of this caliber had good manners and wouldn't cause trouble here. However, Zhang Qingning felt that today was so unfortunate to encounter such a weirdo, someone who even dared to hit the waiter here. What's more important was that their rare private date was ruined. She was truly infuriated and was about to speak up. But then, a young man rushed in at lightning speed, grabbed the middle-aged man by the collar, and flung him out, slamming him against the wall. The man was dazed from the impact, and the alcohol surged to his head, making him jump up and swear at the man who hit him. "How dare you hit me, I'll kill you." Saying that, he charged towards the man who struck him. The young man didn't hesitate at all, raising his hand and delivering a fierce slap directly to the middle-aged man's head. Bang! A sound echoed, and the middle-aged man's head exploded like a watermelon under the force of the slap, splattering blood and brain matter everywhere, nauseatingly disgusting. The people who were drawn by the commotion instantly froze in place.
This young man actually made a direct move, directly killing someone?
However, after being stunned for 2 seconds, screams from women followed, and then the customers in the restaurant began to flee. Meanwhile, Jiang Qingning stood there dumbfounded. She never expected that the man would be killed like this. The middle-aged man was obviously causing trouble because he was drunk, but it didn't warrant death. Though Jiang Qingning had witnessed numerous scenes of violence, directly smashing someone's head, splattering blood and brain matter on the ground, this atrocious method was a first for her. The brutality was too much. It made her body tremble slightly. "It's all right," Qin Fan walked over and comforted Jiang Qingning with his hand. Hearing Qin Fan's words, Jiang Qingning felt somewhat relieved, nodding to indicate she was fine. "Master Hua, are you all right?" At that moment, the manager of the restaurant rushed over, showing extreme respect. How could trash like him pose any danger? Master Hua wiped the bloodstains from his hands with a cloth as he spoke. "Are people from Xia Kingdom all lacking in manners?" Jiang Qingning and Qin Fan frowned upon hearing this. Killing someone without hesitation and then criticizing others for their lack of manners? It was like a demon accusing others of being too cruel. Nevertheless, Master Hua had already walked into the room opposite Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning. Master Hua truly exudes the aura of a chivalrous man. Of course, he received personal teachings from Master Hua. He must possess chivalry. Many praises for Master Hua resounded from the room opposite. Many customers were bewildered. Why was Master Hua being praised after killing someone? It seemed like killing was considered normal. And the restaurant manager's reaction was quite lackluster, as if nothing had happened. What was going on? This was Xia Kingdom, known as the country with the best public security in the world. Such a blatant act of killing in public, followed by acting as if nothing had happened, was unacceptable to the people of Xia Kingdom. But Master Hua had indeed killed someone like that, and after killing, he even complained about the lack of manners of the people from Xia Kingdom. "Everyone, I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't expect such an incident, so today's expenses will be waived," the manager said to the crowd at this moment, seemingly wanting to brush the matter aside. Many people, upon hearing this, returned to their own rooms, and many who had intended to report to the Public Security Bureau also decided against it. They knew that Master Hua must have extraordinary background, otherwise, he wouldn't act like this. Furthermore, this young man killed without hesitation. Who would dare to provoke him? "I've lost my appetite. Let's leave," Qin Fan said upon witnessing the scene. Jiang Qingning sighed helplessly, saying, "I never expected to encounter such a thing today." "It's indeed a bit excessive, but to resort to killing after a quarrel," Qin Fan remarked. "Then let's go to the hotel and rest," Jiang Qingning said to Qin Fan. Qin Fan nodded, and they prepared to leave shoulder to shoulder. Meanwhile, Master Hua, in the room opposite, happened to see Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning outside. Especially when his gaze fell on Qin Fan, he quickly picked up his phone, opened a photo stored on it, then his eyes became extremely sharp, and he swiftly stood up. "Master Hua? Master Hua, where are you going?" The people accompanying Master Hua asked when they noticed his actions. "I'm going to kill someone," Master Hua said coldly, then strode out of the room like a shooting star. Everyone was stunned upon hearing this. Master Hua was the son of Hua Tianxing, the head of the Hua Tianmen sect, named Hua Xiaogui, which meant kneeling of China in Chinese. He had arrived in Huahai City from overseas just 3 hours ago, and now he was going to kill someone. Did he have enemies? Immediately, everyone got up and hurriedly followed him. "Stop!" At that moment, Master Hua's icy voice came from outside. Chapter 168, Annihilation of My Clan. As Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning proceeded halfway, they halted upon hearing a voice. Turning around, they beheld the young man who had just made a move, his eyes glaring crimsonly at them. Qin Fan was somewhat puzzled by the situation. Why was the other party so hostile towards him? He even sensed a palpable intent to kill. The animosity of Hua Xiaogui towards Qin Fan is profound indeed. Zhou Dajiang perished at the hands of Qin Fan. Hua Xiaogui's talent is exceptionally outstanding, surpassing Zhou Dajiang. It could be said that he is the most gifted disciple and son among all of Hua Tianxing's disciples and sons. However, it was not Hua Tianxing who guided him in cultivation, but in reality, it was Zhou Dajiang who truly instructed him. Since the age of 10, Hua Xiaogui had been by Zhou Dajiang's side, experiencing life and death together overseas. In his eyes, Zhou Dajiang was more like his father. Upon receiving news of Zhou Dajiang's death at Huatian Gate, Hua Xiaogui went mad, wishing to immediately go to Xia country to kill Qin Fan.
However, he was stopped by Hua Tianxing.
And now, his father is about to return to Xia country, while he has also proudly stepped into Xia country ahead of time. Yet, he did not expect that within less than 3 hours of entering Xia country, he would encounter Qin Fan, his greatest enemy. At this moment, his eyes were crimson, his killing intent raging, as he stared at Qin Fan.
Qin Fan, Master Qin. Hua Xiaogui uttered in a low voice towards Qin Fan. Indeed, Qin Fan nodded. What is the matter? I am Hua Xiaogui, the son of Hua Tianxing. Today, I seek vengeance for my senior brother Zhou Dajiang. Today, your life ends by my hand.
Hua Xiaogui roared hoarsely at Qin Fan. Upon hearing these words, Jiang Qingning's expression immediately changed, and she tightly grasped Qin Fan's hand, filled with concern. The impression Hua Xiaogui gave her was like a terrifying beast ready to prey on anyone at any moment. Moreover, she recalled how Hua Xiaogui had smashed someone like a watermelon with a single palm before, and a hint of fear emerged in her heart. However, Qin Fan remained extremely calm, not only calm but also revealing a smile.
So, it's vengeance you seek. That's right.
Hua Xiaogui roared, and as his aura surged, a series of explosions resounded. Under his powerful aura, the surrounding ground and walls all burst, his aura extremely sharp.
Qin Fan! Jiang Qingning screamed upon witnessing this scene. It was her first time seeing such a fierce aura. Step back a bit,
Qin Fan said to Jiang Qingning. Upon hearing this, Jiang Qingning quickly stepped back from Qin Fan's side. She understood that Qin Fan was concerned about her getting involved.
Come on.
Qin Fan, upon witnessing Jiang Qingning stepping back, provocatively beckoned Hua Xiaogui with a curl of his finger. In the next moment, Hua Xiaogui took a step forward, his body darting out like lightning, immediately arriving in front of Qin Fan. Then, he struck out with a punch towards Qin Fan. At that instant, cheers erupted from the surrounding crowd. Those accompanying Hua Xiaogui were all overseas personnel who naturally knew his strength. His prowess far surpassed that of Zhou Dajiang, and he was only 20 years old, with all the resources of Huatian Gate at his disposal for cultivation, not to mention a powerful Grandmaster father backing him. His strength was unquestionable. Therefore, these people never even considered the outcome. What they pondered was how Hua Xiaogui would ruthlessly kill Qin Fan. Kill him, young Master Hua, kill him. Yes, kill him. These people cheered as if killing was a mundane matter to them. With Hua Xiaogui nearing Qin Fan, he fiercely unleashed a series of punches, accompanied by the sound of bursting air, the power extremely dreadful. Each punch gathered all his resentment and the culmination of years of cultivation. With this punch, he absolutely intended to obliterate Qin Fan. However, in the instant his fist approached Qin Fan, his expression froze. He felt all his attacks inexplicably dissipated. In that moment, his neck was gripped by a hand, lifted into the air. Even with this level of strength, you dare seek revenge against me? Simultaneously, Qin Fan's disdainful voice rang out. Accompanying Qin Fan's voice, the onlookers showed expressions of shock, even confusion. Because they couldn't understand why Hua Xiaogui was suddenly seized by Qin Fan by the neck. They certainly didn't comprehend it. In Qin Fan's eyes, Hua Xiaogui was nothing more than a cultivator of the 5th or 6th stage of qi refinement, while he was in the mid-stage of nascent soul realm. Each realm he achieved was at the pinnacle. Handling Hua Xiaogui was as simple as handling an ant. Hua Xiaogui, easily seized by Qin Fan, was dumbfounded. He couldn't understand why his attacks were effortlessly neutralized, nor could he understand how Qin Fan could easily grab him, as if he were gripping a chick. In this world, there are many things you don't understand. That's normal. Just die peacefully. Qin Fan's voice was calm as he spoke. However, just as Qin Fan was about to snap Hua Xiaogui's neck, Jiang Qingning's cry suddenly rang out. Qin Fan immediately turned to look at Jiang Qingning. He saw Jiang Qingning being restrained by two people, a gun pressed against her forehead. But what drew the most attention was the mixed-race man standing beside Jiang Qingning. Wang Tianyi, what are you planning? Is this how you negotiate with me? Jiang Qingning looked at the mixed-race man and spoke with a firm voice. Wang Tianyi? Qin Fan heard Jiang Qingning's words and asked the mixed-race man. Yes, I am Wang Tianyi, the young master of the Wang family. Wang Tianyi nodded slightly towards Qin Fan and spoke with a magnetic voice. Are you planning to threaten me by taking Jiang Qingning's life? Qin Fan looked at Wang Tianyi and asked. Yes, I want you to release Hua Xiaogui. Wang Tianyi looked at Qin Fan and said. After speaking, Wang Tianyi waited for Qin Fan's response. Continue speaking, finish what you want to say, or you won't have the chance later. Qin Fan spoke indifferently. Wang Tianyi was slightly taken aback by Qin Fan's words, then he continued, I never expected to meet Master Qin in this manner. Initially, I intended to act as a mediator, to adjust the relationship between you and Huatian Gate, and then collaborate with us. However, I never expected that such a thing would happen today. If I were to let you release Huaxia Gui just like that, you would definitely refuse. So, I had to resort to kidnapping Miss Jiang. Of course, I also know that there's no need for negotiations later, but I don't care, after all, Huaxia Gui must not die.
Alright, I've said what I wanted to say. Master Qin, you should release him now.
After speaking, Wang Tianyi showed a confident expression. He believed that Qin Fan would definitely release him, after all, this was Huahai City, the territory of the Wang family. And what he said about not wanting to meet Qin Fan in this way was true. Originally, he came here to receive Huatian Xing's son, Huaxia Gui, but he didn't expect Qin Fan to be here as well. However, now that he encountered this situation, he could only act like this.
Wang Tianyi, let me tell you one thing.
Qin Fan spoke at this moment.
What is it? Wang Tianyi smiled and asked, do you want other conditions? What I hate most in my life is when someone uses the people around me to threaten me.
Qin Fan said.
I find that quite unpleasant too. Wang Tianyi smiled in response, do you know what the fate of those people ultimately is? Qin Fan asked. I'm quite curious. Please, do tell. Wang Tianyi smiled and said. They were all exterminated by me. Crack. As soon as his words fell, the sound of Huaxia Gui's neck snapping followed. Chapter 169, 3-Day Agreement. Crack. The sound of bones breaking echoed, and Huaxia Gui's neck twisted, his eyes rolling back, devoid of life. Everyone present was stunned. Was all that negotiation for naught? You. Seeing this scene, Wang Tianyi couldn't contain his rage. Then you take care of Jiang Qingning's body. Is that so? Qin Fan responded with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. As Qin Fan's words fell, the two individuals controlling Jiang Qingning simultaneously let out terrified cries. Then, everyone saw cracks appearing all over their bodies, slowly turning into fragments before disappearing without a trace. This scene was even more shocking than Huaxia Gui's death. Even Jiang Qingning was astonished. Qin Fan was about 7 or 8 meters away from them, yet without any physical contact, he made two people vanish into thin air. This method was beyond the comprehension of ordinary people, it was too terrifying. Qin Fan utilized the aura. He condensed himself. After condensation, he could control this aura as he pleased. Precisely speaking, this aura had become a part of his qi circulation. To ordinary people, this aura was invisible and intangible. Once Qin Fan released it, any contact would result in erosion and disappearance without a trace. From the moment Jiang Qingning was kidnapped, Qin Fan had already enveloped those two individuals with this aura. This was what Qin Fan meant by, if Wang Tianyi didn't speak, he wouldn't have the chance to speak. Qin Fan walked slowly towards Wang Tianyi. Seeing Qin Fan approaching, Wang Tianyi couldn't help but step back. Even though he had seen grand scenes before and witnessed methods that could make people disappear into thin air, he was still shocked. You. Are you a grandmaster in both martial arts and Taoist techniques? Wang Tianyi retreated while trembling with fear. Wang Tianyi, do you remember what I said just now? Qin Fan asked with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. What you said? Wang Tianyi was slightly stunned at Qin Fan's words, then he remembered Qin Fan's earlier statement, they were all exterminated by me. His eyes instantly filled with terror, and he continued, do you mean? I do what I say. Qin Fan responded with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. The Qin clan of the Tian Qin family had been threatened before, and Qin Fan had personally experienced being threatened with his loved ones. Therefore, what Qin Fan hated most from beginning to end was when loved ones and friends were used to threaten others. He could let bygones be bygones when it came to his family, but once someone dared to threaten him by using the people around him, he would never show mercy. Whoever dared to do so would face extinction, because they had crossed a line. You're quite confident. Wang Tianyi recovered from his earlier shock upon hearing Qin Fan's words. The person you just killed was the most beloved son of Huatian Xing, the master of Huatian Gate. He will come to Huahai in 3 days. I see. Then, I'll make sure to attend the welcoming party when he arrives. Qin Fan said with a faint smile. Afterwards, Qin Fan turned to Jiang Qingning.
Jiang Qingning, who had just recovered from her shock, looked at Qin Fan.
Qin Fan. If there's nothing else, let's go.
Qin Fan said to Jiang Qingning. With that, Qin Fan walked ahead on his own, and Jiang Qingning hurriedly caught up. Wang Tianyi and the others accompanying Huaxia Gui watched Qin Fan's departure with darkened faces, but they dared not say anything more. It wasn't until Qin Fan disappeared from their sight that they breathed a sigh of relief. Master Wang, Huaxia Gui is dead, we must avenge him.
Yes, Master Wang, Hua Tianxing will arrive soon.
If he finds out that young Master Hua is dead, he will definitely not let it go. The people who had come with Huaxia Gui spoke up one after another. He said he would come in 3 days. Let's kill him 3 days later.
Wang Tianyi recovered and said. With Hua Tianxing's arrival in 3 days, the Wang family would naturally hold a welcoming party. However, now that Huaxia Gui was dead, what would they do about the welcoming party? It would be more appropriate to hold a funeral for Huaxia Gui. However, Qin Fan unexpectedly said he would attend the banquet, which made Wang Tianyi ecstatic. Then let the banquet 3 days later be turned into a grand event. Once Master Qin is dead, Jiangnan will be ruled by the Wang family alone. By then, the Xianling sect will surely fully support the Wang family. At that time, the Wang family will have the opportunity to become the 6th major family in Xia country. Wang Tianyi couldn't help but feel excited at the thought. He had originally thought it would take some time to unify Jiangnan, but he hadn't expected to encounter Qin Fan today, which accelerated all his plans, and it was Qin Fan who took the initiative to speed things up. On the other hand, Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning walked out of the restaurant and got into the car. Qin Fan, are you really going to the banquet in 3 days? Jiang Qingning asked after getting into the car, not immediately starting the car.
Of course, I always do what I say.
Qin Fan replied. Isn't that sending yourself to die? Jiang Qingning immediately said. Sending myself to die? Qin Fan asked. Hua Tianxing will come, and there will definitely be other powerful figures. Going alone to the banquet, isn't it sending yourself to die? Jiang Qingning said. Is that so? Qin Fan asked. Jiang Qingning didn't know what to say. Just focus on driving. 3 days later.
Qin Fan said. I'll contact my grandfather and the others in Jiangnan. Since Hua Tianxing is coming, let's just hold a grand welcome party, gathering all the people from Jiangnan and Huahai together.
Jiang Qingning suggested after a moment of thought. That's a good idea. Everything can be resolved then.
Qin Fan said with a smile.
Jiang Qingning smiled upon hearing this and said, okay, I'll listen to you.
I'm looking forward to 3 days later. In the South Pacific, on a small island. This island was lush, with the roar of fierce beasts echoing everywhere. What caught the eye was the central flaming fire.
Occasionally, the volcano would erupt, spewing out red-hot lava that flowed down the mountainside like a red river. In the midst of the scorching heat sat a man who appeared to be around 50 years old, naked, sitting in the magma. Who? Suddenly, the sound of a helicopter's whirring blades approached, gradually getting closer.
When it was about 10 meters above the ground, a Western man jumped down and landed on the ground, causing cracks to spread like spider webs. The man had golden hair, azure blue eyes, and a handsome appearance. If the upper echelons of Australia were here, they would definitely recognize him. This man was named Leo Pell, the helmsman of one of Australia's 3 major families, controlling vast iron mines and secretly overseeing various illicit transactions underground in Australia, with annual profits exceeding $2 billion. Leo walked to the man sitting in the magma not far away and respectfully said in Xia country's language, Master Hua. Hua Tianxing opened his eyes, and in an instant, 2 flames spewed out from his eyes, igniting the surrounding air. Seeing this, Leo quickly showed a look of astonishment and then said, Master Hua, have you absorbed the Heart of Fire? The Heart of Fire is a divine object.
How could I absorb it? Hua Tianxing replied. Is there something you deliberately asked me to come here for?
Master Hua, just now there was news that my junior brother died at the hands of Master Qin.
Leo said. Boom!
An aura erupted from Hua Tianxing's body like a volcano, and then a fiery red true energy swirled around his hand like blazing flames. In the next moment, he fiercely punched towards the ground.
Boom!
A rumbling sound echoed, and the ground cracked madly around him.
Countless red lights burst out from the cracks, and a surge of overwhelming aura gushed out. The entire island began to shake violently, and the volcano on the island erupted with torrents of lava. A punch triggers a volcanic eruption. Leo was instantly filled with horror set off. Go to Xia country and kill Master Qin first. Hua Tianxing said in a low voice. Chapter 170, Stirrings from All Sides. In the Wang family estate, located in Huahai City, the atmosphere within the council chamber was one of anticipation. Wang Haizhen, the patriarch of the Wang family, sat at the head of the table, his countenance radiant with satisfaction. Surrounding him were Wang Tianyi and other key figures of the Wang family, each displaying an eager demeanor. At this moment, their excitement was palpable. The news of the demise of Guixia had been brought back by Wang Tianyi, with Qin Dashifu identified as the perpetrator. Simultaneously, they received word that Hu Weixinxing was en route, with the intent to eliminate Qin Dashifu. With his demise, the Wang family would face no further obstacles in Jiangnan, ensuring their dominance over the region. Consequently, all within Jiangnan would be assimilated into the fold of the Wang family. With the backing of Zuanlingmen, the Wang family would undoubtedly gain significant recognition, potentially ascending to become the sixth major family of Xia country. Have all the necessary parties been informed? Wang Haizhen inquired. Yes, notifications have been sent to the Martial Alliance, Jiangnan military, the Yuan family, the Fu family, the Bailong gang, as well as various other factions within Huahai City, Wang Tianyi promptly replied. Excellent. It's remarkable to think that after the Jiang City massacre, we are now poised to host a slaying Qin gathering within our own halls. Splendid, truly splendid. Wang Haizhen exclaimed with unrestrained laughter. Father, I have also notified Zuanlingmen, but we have yet to receive a response, Wang Tianyi added. That's to be expected. Despite your sister's position as a direct disciple of the sect leader, our family has yet to capture their full attention. The lack of response is not unexpected, Wang Haizhen waved dismissively. At that moment, Wang Tianyi's phone suddenly rang. Glancing at the screen, his face lit up with joy. He swiftly answered the call, exchanged a few words, then hung up. What is it? Have we received more good news? Wang Haizhen inquired. Father, it's truly momentous news. Zuanlingmen has replied, stating they will dispatch an elder to us. Wang Tianyi exclaimed excitedly. Upon hearing this, expressions of surprise and delight spread across the faces of everyone present. The fact that Zuanlingmen was willing to send an elder signified that the Wang family had officially entered the sect's consideration. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It appears Ruhr has made significant contributions within Zuanlingmen. It seems the prosperity of our Wang family is now unstoppable. Wang Haizhen's excitement was palpable. The others shared in his excitement. The rise of the Wang family seemed preordained. Very well, everyone, get to work. We must ensure that the slaying Qin gathering 3 days hence is a resounding success. Wang Haizhen rose from his seat, his voice commanding. Yes, Patriarch. With that, the assembled members departed, brimming with excitement. In just 3 days, the Wang family would officially become the rulers of Jiangnan. Meanwhile, outside the medical pavilion of the Fu family, Fu Baiqing, the family's patriarch, stood with his core members, awaiting a significant moment. Inside the pavilion, waves of energy emanated, signaling a breakthrough. Indeed, Fu Baiqing was on the verge of attaining the rank of Grandmaster. A resonant hum suddenly filled the air, causing the entire pavilion to tremble. Waves of energy, akin to tidal surges, swept forth from within, overwhelming those stationed outside. Many were knocked backward by the force, their lesser cultivation unable to withstand it. However, amidst the chaos, the members of the Fu family wore expressions of joy. For they knew that their patriarch, Fu Baiqing, had successfully broken through to become a grandmaster. As the tide-like energy subsided, the doors of the pavilion were pushed open, and Fu Baiqing emerged. Patriarch. Upon seeing Fu Baiqing emerge, Fu Chuan's face lit up with boundless joy. At this moment, Fu Baiqing appeared rejuvenated, his once white hair now replaced with a lustrous black. Despite his age, which seemed to hover around 50, Fu Baiqing exuded an air of confidence, derived from his newly attained status as a grandmaster. Tell me, what news do you bring? Fu Baiqing inquired, his gaze penetrating as he regarded Fu Chuan. With utmost respect, Fu Chuan relayed the upcoming events. Grandfather, Hu Weixinxing will be arriving in 3 days, and Master Qin has accepted the invitation. A faint smile graced Fu Baiqing's lips at the news. It is through Master Qin's guidance that I have ascended to the rank of Grandmaster today. I shall attend this gathering and acquaint myself with the once renowned Hu Weixinxing.
The members of the Fu family rejoiced at their patriarch's decision.
After many years, their grandfather was finally making a move. With this intervention, they foresaw the ascent of the Fu family to prominence.
While the Wang family focused on the upcoming banquet in 3 days, little did they suspect that the patriarch of the Fu family would break through to the realm of grandmasters at such a crucial juncture. Indeed, 3 days hence would witness a grand spectacle. Meanwhile, at the Jiangnan military headquarters, General Xia Yangguan presided over a gathering within his office. General Xia, Qin Fan continues to refusing even to meet, reported Bu Changgang regarding the invitation extended to Qin Fan for assistance. This Qin Fan is truly arrogant. Despite our humble entreaties, he still declines. It's utterly despicable, remarked Zhu Ke indignantly. Indeed, utterly contemptible, echoed Kuanping, the captain of the blade team. People of strength often carry such pride, General Xia interjected, gesturing for them to cease their complaints. With that, Zhu Ke and the others fell silent. General Xia, we've received word that Hui Shenzing will be coming to Huahai in 3 days, and Qin Fan has decided to attend. Do you have any instructions regarding this matter? Bu Changgang inquired. If Qin Fan has agreed to attend, then all we can do is observe. Let us see what prowess this Master Qin will display on this occasion, General Xia remarked. General Xia, are you suggesting that Qin Fan could surpass Hui Shenzing? Bu Changgang asked immediately. I am merely a grandmaster myself. Hui Shenzing attained the rank of grandmaster 5 years ago. I am hardly qualified to judge battles at the grandmaster level, General Xia replied. The others exchanged glances, falling into silence. General Xia harbored some frustration toward these individuals' lack of progress, then spoke again, keep a close watch on the developments this time. Yes, General. Bu Changgang and the others acknowledged. After they departed, General Xia lowered his head, staring at the S-rank mission laid out on his desk, a troubled expression clouding his face. In a low voice, he murmured, with the strength of Kunlun team here in Jiangnan, how can we possibly undertake this S-rank mission? Chapter 171, Sprouting. In the Yuan family estate of Huahai, the atmosphere was heavy with tension. The Wang family had sent a message demanding the attendance of the Yuan family at the upcoming gathering in 3 days, warning of dire consequences for non-compliance. The Wang and Yuan families, both prominent in Huahai, had engaged in countless conflicts over the years, with their actual strengths being closely matched. However, since Wang Xinru entered Zuanlingmen and became the direct disciple of the sect leader, the Wang family's power had soared, overshadowing the Yuan family. Moreover, the Wang family had allied with Hui Shenmen, while the Yuan family's witch god sect had been eradicated. Hong Lai, that Master Qin you speak of is truly foolish to accept the invitation. This is undoubtedly a trap, the Yuan family's patriarch remarked, having emerged from seclusion. Yes, patriarch. Can we trust this Master Qin? Yes, indeed, this is a veritable trap. Yet he has chosen to walk into it. The core members of the Yuan family expressed their doubts, finding Master Qin's decision highly unreliable. Who emerged victorious in the end during the Hongmen banquet? Yuan Honglai suddenly asked. The Yuan family members were momentarily taken aback by the question. Now that I have pledged allegiance to Master Qin, we have no choice but to trust him, Yuan Honglai asserted. Reluctantly, the Yuan family members nodded in agreement. At this point, they truly had no other options left. In the headquarters of the Bailong gang, the gang leader Rong Zhengyuan, Huan Meihon, and Li Chengfeng were gathered together, their expressions filled with joy. That Qin Fan has actually volunteered to attend the banquet. It seems his demise is imminent, Huan Meihon giggled uncontrollably. As soon as he dies, the sinister influence he has exerted over us will surely dissipate, and we will finally be free, Li Chengfeng remarked, equally delighted. Master Yan said there is a mysterious force within our spirits. Qin Fan is indeed formidable. However, his decision to attend the banquet alone can only be described as foolish. Rong Zhengyuan chuckled heartily upon receiving the news from the Wang family. The three had consulted a master of Taoist arts, who examined their mental states and detected a mysterious technique even Master Yan could not decipher. Should they harbor any ill intentions, they might indeed face death. However, now that Qin Fan had directly courted death at the Wang family's hands, they would no longer need to be subservient. However, boss, what if Qin Fan survives the encounter with Hui Shenzing? Li Chengfeng suddenly asked. If he survives, then I will willingly become his dog. Rong Zhengyuan laughed heartily. The other two fell silent at his words. Indeed, if Qin Fan were to survive facing Hu Weixinzing, they would willingly submit to him as his loyal followers. The news of Hu Weixinzing's return to Xia country and Qin Fan's acceptance of the invitation to the banquet spread not only throughout Huahai but also across Jiangnan within half a day. Forces large and small were aware of the Wang family's burgeoning power and ambitions, especially after Wang Xinru became the direct disciple of the Zuanlingmen sect leader. The Wang family's actions were no longer concealed, with constant maneuvers and even contacts with overseas powers. Now, with the return of Hu Weixinzing, once the top figure on the Xuanmen's Earth ranking, a grand banquet was being held to rally forces from Jiangnan and Huahai. Anyone declining the invitation would face severe consequences, prompting apprehension among many forces. Consequently, numerous factions from Jiangnan had converged on Huahai, eager to witness the birth of the king of Jiangnan.
Chapter 171, Germination. In Jiangcheng, at Villano,
one of Tianzi estate, Qin Fan disregarded the commotion of the outside world and returned to his villa.
Meanwhile, Jiang Qingning, upon returning to Jiangcheng, hurried to meet Jiang Tianxiong.
She was determined not to let Qin Fan attend the banquet alone, so she needed to gather everyone who should be there to accompany him. Standing outside the villa, Qin Fan could clearly see the faint mist enveloping the surroundings. What was more profound was his clear perception of the dense spiritual energy gathering here. Since his departure, the operation of the spirit-gathering array he left behind had turned the mountaintop where Villano One was located into a place of abundant spiritual energy, akin to a small cultivation paradise.
Just one peak is not enough.
I should buy the entire Feihong mountain and set up a large array to turn the entire mountain into a blessed land. However, the material requirements for setting up a spirit-gathering array that covers the entire mountain are substantial, Qin Fan muttered to himself as he walked into the villa.
Upon entering the villa, his gaze swept around and he was surprised to find Lin Qingyan's old beat-up FAW parked in the courtyard.
Bonjour, monsieur. A soft and pleasant female voice spoke in Japanese. Qin Fan was momentarily stunned upon hearing the voice, then looked towards the entrance of the villa, where he saw Catherine, dressed in a maid outfit, bowing respectfully to him.
What are you doing?
Qin Fan asked in astonishment, seeing Catherine in this attire.
Isn't this what you men desire most? Catherine smiled charmingly at Qin Fan.
A silver-haired busty maid.
Qin Fan. Master, would you like to take a bath first, or would you like to have me? Catherine suddenly spoke in a flirtatious tone. Snap.
However, before Catherine could finish her sentence, a slap was heard, and a beautiful palm print appeared on Catherine's face. Behave yourself, or I might just lose control and kill you, Qin Fan said coldly.
Catherine was instantly dumbfounded, thinking to herself, why is this happening? Don't Eastern men dream of silver-haired busty maids? How could he just slap me? Is this man incapable?
With nearly 200 years of life experience, she had developed methods to deal with Eastern men, but none seemed to work on him. It could only mean that this man was different.
Don't think about strange things. Qin Fan warned again.
Catherine's scalp tingled at his words, immediately suppressing all her thoughts. She rubbed the palm print on her face, and it soon disappeared, as the recovery ability of a vampire exceeded that of an ordinary person.
What's with this car? Qin Fan asked.
It was brought here by a woman named Ning Rushuan. She said it's your car, Catherine replied.
But, master, how can someone of your status drive such a car? Should I have someone send a Koenigsegg over? Catherine suggested immediately. No need.
The car doesn't mean much to me, Qin Fan shook his head. He remembered leaving the FAW parked at the Prosperity nightclub, never expecting Ning Rushuan to be so thoughtful as to return it. Catherine looked puzzled. A man who doesn't love cars, how strange.
After you came back, did Lin Qingyan ask you to take her grandmother to the hospital again? Qin Fan asked.
As far as I know, the old lady doesn't want to return to Jiangcheng. Right now, Lin Qingyan is trying to find a way to bring the old lady back to Jiangcheng, Catherine said.
Qin Fan nodded.
Master, the strange rotten wood in the garden has sprouted.
Would you like to go take a look? Catherine continued.
Upon hearing this, Qin Fan raised an eyebrow and said, let's go.
Chapter 172, The Ancient Evergreen Tree?
Upon arriving at the garden, Qin Fan's expression was filled with astonishment. At this moment, the rotten wood had sprouted several tender shoots, emitting a vigorous vitality that affected the surrounding plants, causing them to grow wildly. The entire garden, which was originally barren, was now filled with various plants emitting rich floral scents.
Moreover, due to the influence of the life energy emanating from the wooden branch, these plants seem to possess a hint of spirituality. Yes, at this moment, Xin Fan's backyard was filled with spiritual plants. Of course, the amount of spiritual energy contained in these plants was very minimal, barely enough to be noticed by even the most discerning spiritual beasts in the cultivation world. Nevertheless, the fact that a segment of rotten wood had caused such a transformation in the entire garden left Xin Fan in awe. What is this? Xin Fan furrowed his brow. This branch feels somewhat similar to our bloodline, as if it's a kind of longevity species. Catherine, who was standing beside him, spoke up. A longevity species? Xin Fan was momentarily surprised, then turned to Catherine and asked, "How long can your bloodline live?" "As far as I know, the longest-lived member of our bloodline is the bloodline king. I'm not sure of the exact time because I belong to the youngest generation of our bloodline and don't have the qualifications to see the king. But the elders say that our king's lifespan exceeds 20,000 years. However, he fell into a deep sleep over 5,000 years ago," Catherine replied truthfully. 20,000 years? Xin Fan was quite surprised. The lifespan of a cultivator at the nascent soul stage would not exceed 2,000 years, and at the nascent divinity stage, it would be no more than 5,000 years. He had not expected the bloodline king to reach a lifespan of 20,000 years. It seems different from blood demons. As members of the demon clan, blood demons have longer lifespans than humans, but even at the nascent divinity stage, they cannot live for 20,000 years. At most, it would be 10,000 years. What is the origin of the Earth's bloodline? Xin Fan was curious. And when she mentioned the longevity species, I recalled a type of tree I heard about in the cultivation world, called the ancient evergreen tree. This tree shares the same lifespan as the heavens and earth, connecting the heavens and earth. It's also known as the tree of creation, or the world tree. By ascending along the world tree, one can reach the heavenly realm. However, long ago, during the War of the Ancients, the immortals destroyed the world tree, cutting off the passage between the mortal realm and the heavens. Could this segment of rotten wood be a remnant of the world tree? Xin Fan's thoughts raced, quickly recalling the legendary divine tree, the world tree, or the tree of creation. The ancient evergreen tree, a relic from a distant mythical era, allowed mortals to easily ascend to the heavenly realm and enjoy immortality. However, after the passage to the heavens was cut off, the cultivation path appeared, aiming to ascend to the heavenly realm in order to achieve immortality. But in reality, there is no such thing as immortality, otherwise, cultivators would not have embarked on the path of cultivation, seeking immortality. Unfortunately, immortality is merely a mythical legend. But to find a legendary item like this on Earth, where the Tao tradition is lacking, was something Xin Fan found impossible to believe. Right, I can try using the Chaos Pearl to sense it. The Chaos Pearl is a divine artifact from the same era as the World Tree. Suddenly, Xin Fan thought of the divine artifact he possessed. The Chaos Pearl had a significant origin, rumored to be from the primordial era, the same era as the World Tree. As divine artifacts from the same era, they might have some connection. You stay outside and guard the villa. No one is allowed to enter, Xin Fan ordered Catherine. Although Catherine was puzzled, she dared not disobey and obediently left. Xin Fan then sat cross-legged and released the Chaos Pearl from his forehead. The Chaos Pearl floated out and began to tremble slightly. Then, the life energy emanating from the wooden branch transformed into green streams of light, converging towards the Chaos Pearl. As the green energy gathered, the Chaos Pearl began to vibrate and rotate, continuously refining this life energy into pure spiritual energy, which radiated outwards. What is this? How can there be such high-level spiritual energy? Xin Fan was shocked by the released spiritual energy. The Chaos Pearl could refine all the spiritual energy in the world into cultivation spiritual energy. However, it only refined the energy, not improving its level. This indicated that the life energy emitted by the wooden branch was of an extremely high level, higher than anything Xin Fan had encountered before. At present, he couldn't fathom the true origin of this wooden branch. He would have to wait until it grew out completely to find out. Although it's rare, I won't waste it. Let's begin cultivation. It's been a long time since I absorbed spiritual energy for cultivation, Xin Fan decided. The wooden branch had just sprouted tender shoots, so the amount of life energy it could emit was actually not much. However, the spiritual energy on Earth was extremely thin, and its level was low. Therefore, the energy emitted by the wooden branch was extremely precious. Moreover, since arriving on Earth, Xin Fan had rarely practiced cultivation.
His cultivation progress had mostly relied on condensing malevolence. The appearance of these peculiar branches spurred Qin Fan into a long-lost state of cultivation, ensnaring him instantly. As time elapsed second by second, the surrounding flora seemed to frenzy in their growth due to the emanation of spiritual energy, to the extent that even the naked eye could perceive their expansion. In just 3 days, the Tianzi one villa was instantly engulfed by countless plants, completely disappearing atop the mountain. Moreover, a dense layer of mist shrouded the summit, seen from afar like a magnificent cloud cover, exceedingly resplendent. The entire city of Jiangcheng seemed to believe that immortals had descended upon the mountain, transforming Feihong Mountain into a fairyland. 3 days later, in Huahai City. Within Huahai City, there is a mountain named Huahai Mountain, from which the city derives its name. Similarly, Huahai Mountain is also a tourist attraction in Huahai City. However, at this moment, this tourist spot was monopolized by the Wang family, inaccessible to any idle persons. Only those invited elites could step foot inside. Within a spacious flatland in Huahai Mountain, there lay a vast platform, where at this very moment, the Wang family's clan stood, delivering impassioned speeches.
The members of the Wang family were currently exuding vigor and vitality, for today would mark the official rise of their family.
Below were the invited dignitaries, the Yuan family, the Fu family, the Wuming, and the dignitaries from Jiangnan, all present.
Has Master Qin not arrived yet? Xiang Yingdong stood beside Zhang Tianxiong, his expression anxious.
Unable to reach him, Zhang Tianxiong replied.
Unable to reach him? At this juncture, does Master Qin dare not show up?
Scarred Yang grumbled discontentedly.
Lower your voice. Do you want the people of the Wang family to know that Master Qin has not arrived? Xiang Yingdong reprimanded sternly.
Scarred Yang immediately closed his mouth. Ninger has gone to find him. Master Qin won't miss this, Zhang Tianxiong said. The worry permeated his heart. Particularly at this time, the inability to contact him couldn't help but fuel speculation. Huff, huff, huff. Suddenly, a fierce whistling sound came from the sky, and soon a helicopter was seen whizzing up from the foot of the mountain, quickly ascending to the height of the platform.
Huatian Xing had arrived. Chapter 173, Huatian Xing.
The whirring of the helicopter. The sound of the helicopter's whirling blades echoed as a Black Hawk military helicopter soared from the foot of Huahai Mountain, ascending swiftly to the immense platform.
He's here, Huatian Xing has arrived. How grand, arriving by helicopter.
The helicopter's rotor blades spun, stirring up a gust, causing many to step back, yet every person's gaze remained fixed on the helicopter, awaiting the emergence of Huatian Xing from within. However, upon reaching the platform, the helicopter did not stop but continued to ascend. Why is it still going up?
Yeah, isn't he coming out?
The people present looked on with puzzled expressions as the helicopter continued its ascent. Soon, the Black Hawk helicopter ascended continuously, eventually becoming a mere speck, while in contrast, Huahai Mountain now appeared no larger than a matchbox in the eyes of those aboard the helicopter.
What's going on?
Yuan Honglai, the head of the Yuan family, gazed upward with a solemn expression, his heart tinged with a hint of worry.
Old Jiang, what's happening?
Xiang Yingdong also queried Zhang Tianxiong beside him, his expression perplexed.
How would I know?
Zhang Tianxiong also lifted his head to gaze at the sky.
Is that Huatian Xing getting cold feet and fleeing in a helicopter? Scarred Yang couldn't help but laugh. The crowd fell silent for a moment. Colonel, what's going on? What's Huatian Xing up to?
From a distant hill, Zhuke, holding a telescope, inquired about the helicopter hovering in the sky. Although the military had been invited, they couldn't take sides, so the military personnel naturally wouldn't attend. Instead, they chose to stand afar and watch the proceedings.
And Qin Fan hasn't shown up either, could he be afraid? Kuanping remarked beside him.
This time we came specifically to witness the duel between Master Qin and Huatian Xing.
With one absent and the other seemingly attempting to flee in a helicopter, isn't this a farce? Sun Long couldn't help but comment. The aircraft door is opening. Suddenly, Zhuke, who had been observing through the telescope, spoke up. Is he going to parachute in?
Upon hearing this, everyone raised their eyebrows, gazing upwards. At the moment, the helicopter was about 1 kilometer above the ground, and about 300 meters above the platform of Huahai Mountain. It was unreasonable to parachute onto the mountain. At most, one could only land on the ground, which seemed absurd. Keep watching.
Butcher Gong spoke up.
He's coming out, Huatian Xing is coming out. At that moment, Zhuke, through the telescope, clearly saw a scene unfolding on the helicopter. Hua Tianxing, dressed in ordinary training attire, stepped out of the helicopter, then, to Zhu Chua's astonishment, leaped from the helicopter.
He jumped out. Zhu Kei screamed. What in the world? What's falling from the sky? Everyone looked up in astonishment.
At this moment, a crimson flame appeared in the sky, descending at an incredible speed, leaving behind a long, fiery tail, resembling a comet. With almost no interval, it crashed down with a resounding boom. A thunderous roar reverberated through the heavens, akin to a heavy bomb exploding in the distance, causing the entire Huahai mountain to tremble as dust and smoke billowed into the air. Meanwhile, a small lake at the foot of Huahai mountain churned with waves due to the tremendous shock. All those standing on the mountain were left staggering, struggling to maintain their balance.
What's happening? Has a bomb landed? Looks like flames are erupting over there. It seems like something has fallen from the sky. The onlookers couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment, as they were certain that something had plummeted from the sky and struck the nearby hillside. Soon, as the smoke cleared, everyone saw clearly what had occurred and were left dumbfounded. Not far away, the entire hillside had caved in, forming a deep crater. And within this crater stood a man, unfazed, walking towards them step by step with one hand behind his back. It's Hua Tianxing. Yes, it's Hua Tianxing. This. Am I dreaming? Falling from a height of over 300 meters and still unharmed? Indeed, he's perfectly fine. Just look at him approaching. Everyone was truly flabbergasted.
Witnessing Hua Tianxing plummeting from over 300 meters and emerging unscathed, not even a thread on his clothes damaged, left them feeling as though they had seen a ghost. Greetings to Master Hua. At this moment, Wang Haijin snapped out of his shock and spoke loudly.
Greetings to Master Hua. Greetings to Master Hua.
The members of the Wang family also joined in, their hearts filled with immense awe. They had arranged for a helicopter, but they hadn't anticipated Hua Tianxing's incredible entrance, leaping from a height of over 300 meters. Normally, falling from such a height would result in broken bones, even for a grandmaster.
Yet, Hua Tianxing emerged unscathed. Was his physical resilience truly something within human reach?
For a moment, the only explanation that came to mind for everyone was that he must be a monster, genetically modified or mutated, to possess such terrifying physical strength. Hua Tianxing remained as calm as still water as he reached the platform. Standing there in an instant, everyone felt as though they were being oppressed by a mountain, unable to catch their breath. Hua Tianxing, it's been 27 years, and I never thought your aura would surpass that of the past. Just then, a voice sounded, shaking the trees of Huahai mountain as if a gale were sweeping through. Following the voice, a figure traversed the swaying treetops and flew towards the mountain from below at an astonishing speed.
Oh, Fu Baishao, I didn't expect you to reach the realm of Grandmaster as well. Intriguing.
Hua Tianxing gazed at the figure riding the waves of trees and uttered these words lightly. The crowd was astonished upon hearing this. Fu Baishao, who pursued both medical and martial arts, had secluded himself for 20 years. People had assumed he had passed away. Yet, today, he appeared as a grandmaster. Soon, Fu Baishao landed on the platform, and members of the Fu family and other dignitaries from Jiangnan gathered around. Greetings to Master Fu. Similar to the Wang family, these people shouted out, their momentum even surpassing before.
Fu Baishao, are you here to make a move? Hua Tianxing looked at Fu Baishao and asked lightly.
In fact, having sparred with Fu Baishao before, he knew Fu Baishao's talent was not enough to reach the realm of Grandmaster. However, seeing him standing before him as a Grandmaster was somewhat unexpected. I'm indebted to someone, so naturally, I must take action. Fu Baishao gazed directly at Hua Tianxing and spoke. Indebted? Could it be that Master Qin assisted you in reaching the realm of Grandmaster? Hua Tianxing's curiosity was piqued upon hearing this. Yes. Fu Baishao didn't hesitate to admit. Upon hearing this, everyone marveled at the fact that someone could assist another in reaching the realm of Grandmaster. Truly, Master Qin was extraordinary. Wanting to challenge my master, you're not yet qualified. However, just as Fu Baishao's words fell, a thunderous voice resounded from the sky. Chapter 174, Let's go, it's time to kill. A thunderous roar reverberated as the helicopter in the sky descended to a height of approximately 50 meters above the platform. Presently, a man with golden hair and azure eyes leaped from the helicopter. Unlike Hua Tianxing's forceful descent, this man descended from the sky like a bird, landing gracefully. After touching down, the Western man approached Hua Tianqing and spoke, "I am Liu, a disciple of Hua. Today, I wish to challenge my master. You must pass through me first." Upon hearing this, the crowd erupted in astonishment. Hua Tianqing's disciple was going to face Bai Xiao? Bai Xiao was a grandmaster. Could it be that Hua Tianqing's disciple was also a grandmaster? "No need for such trouble, Liu," Hua Tianqing said casually. "Master, guided by you, I have entered the realm of grandmasters, just like Master Fu here. Since he is acting out of gratitude, I must do the same," Liu, the fair-haired man, said in slightly unfamiliar Xia language. "You already had a solid foundation. After my guidance, becoming a grandmaster was a matter of course. There's no need to dwell on it," Hua Tianqing shook his head. "In Xia, it is said one should repay kindness." "I wish to share your burdens, Master," Liu said, bowing with both hands. Seeing this, Hua Tianqing said no more and turned to sit in a nearby spot. Everyone listened intently, increasingly awestruck. Master Qin assisted by Xiao in reaching grandmaster status, and people considered him a divine figure. Now, Hua Tianqing was similarly guiding others to this realm. What would be the outcome? "Master Fu, please make your move." Liu gestured politely. At that moment, Liu's expression turned cold, and in an instant, he darted forward. Bai Xiao's expression soured. He and Hua Tianqing were peers, yet now he had to contend with Hua Tianqing's disciple, a true embarrassment. "If Master Fu won't act, then I'll have to offend first." Liu's expression suddenly chilled, and his figure dashed forward like lightning. Bai Xiao's face changed abruptly as Liu, with no hesitation, unleashed Hua Tianqing's unique technique, the Heavenly Nine Fist. Bai Xiao crossed his hands in defense, but with a resounding clash, a surge of vigorous force erupted, causing Bai Xiao's body to fly backward instantly. As he was sent flying, Liu's figure darted forward like lightning once more, relentlessly pursuing. As he closed in on Bai Xiao, he unleashed a flurry of punches, intent on completing the full series of the Heavenly Nine Fist. Clash after clash resounded in rapid succession. 3 consecutive punches, accompanied by explosive roars, echoed through the air, unleashing surges of formidable force. Meanwhile, Bai Xiao continued to defend and retreat, causing the ground beneath them to crumble madly. Witnessing this scene, everyone's scalp tingled with apprehension. Liu completely dominated Bai Xiao. Bai Xiao, once renowned in the Huahai, had even ranked 11th on the Earth ranking. Yet now, he was being suppressed by Hua Tianqing's disciple. Liu, who had only received a few pointers from Hua Tianqing, now held the upper hand. What level of mastery did Hua Tianqing possess to guide Liu into this realm? No one dared to contemplate the answer. "Colonel, is it true that anyone from Huahai or Jiangnan can defeat Hua Tianqing?" Zhu Chue's heart raced as she watched the battle. Hua Tianqing has been cultivating overseas for over 20 years. With his current strength, perhaps only Xiao Jiangnan from the Northwest Military Command can match him, Kuanping replied. Colonel Buzhanging's expression darkened. His subordinates might not know, but he was well aware that Hua Tianqing was just the first of many overseas forces to enter Xia. More experts would come from the west to suppress Xia. What level of power would those experts possess? Xia was poised to challenge the entire Western world with its national strength alone. If Qin Fan doesn't show up, it seems he knows he's doomed if he does. Zhu Ke scoffed. "I wonder." "Let's continue observing," Colonel Buzhanging said. However, he couldn't shake off the nagging question, was Qin Fan truly afraid to come? In Zhangcheng, atop Feihong Mountain, a helicopter circled around the peak where the Tianzino One villa was located. "Miss, what's going on? It's only been 3 days, why does it look like a primitive forest here, impossible to enter?" Chen Yao asked loudly from inside the helicopter. "I have no idea," Jiang Qingning replied. 3 days ago, when she came to the Tianzino One villa to find Qin Fan, she discovered that all paths leading to it were blocked by wildly growing vegetation. It was impossible for anyone to enter except by helicopter. Even from above, the entire mountain was shrouded in massive vegetation, resembling a primeval forest. Not a single trace of the villa could be seen. "Get closer," Jiang Qingning shouted to the pilot. "Miss, it's very dangerous, we can't get any closer," the pilot responded loudly. "I don't care, get closer," Jiang Qingning insisted. The pilot gritted his teeth and continued to maneuver the helicopter closer to the villa. As it approached, the aircraft began to tremble slightly. "Steady, or how can I get down?" Jiang Qingning shouted.
Miss, this is a vortex airflow. If we don't stabilize, we need to leave immediately, or there will be trouble, the pilot warned. As he piloted the helicopter, the pilot wondered why the closer they got, the more intense the airflow became, forming a vortex that converged towards the mountaintop. What is Qin Fan doing? What happened here? Jiang Qingning was anxiously wringing her hands. Had she left Huahai too late? If she was too late, her grandfather and the others could be in danger. Inside the Tianzi No. One villa, Catherine screamed, Qin Fan, what are you doing? These plants are unstoppable. For 3 days, countless plants had grown inside the villa, engulfing her as if to devour her. No matter how powerful her abilities were, she couldn't eradicate them. As for Qin Fan, he was currently sitting cross-legged in the garden, emitting a faint green light. Relying on the peculiar energy emanating from the sapling, he was refining his body. Although Qin Fan was only at the mid-stage of the Yuan infant realm, his physical body wasn't particularly robust because he had been practicing qi cultivation for 200 years, seldom focusing on physical refinement. Now, the unique energy from this sapling couldn't satisfy his qi cultivation, but it could refine his body. With the help of the Chaos Pearl, the vibrant life energy was transformed into energy to temper his body under this peculiar energy's refinement. Every inch of his skin, every blood vessel, every meridian emitted a faint green light, possessing an inexhaustible vitality. Soon, the green light faded, and Qin Fan slowly opened his eyes. I didn't expect this peculiar sapling to enable me to cultivate the everlasting body. But it's just the beginning. Qin Fan smiled as he opened his eyes, recalling that today was the appointed day. Let's go, it's time to kill. Qin Fan said again. Then, holding Jiang Qingning in his arms, he turned into a stream of light and shot towards Huahai. Chapter 175, I will personally kill him to mourn for my son. Huahai Mountain. The entire scene fell into dead silence, with everyone's gaze filled with astonishment. Bai Xiaoxiao lay on the ground, his eyes lifeless, while before him stood Liu, wearing a proud expression. Bai Xiaoxiao had been defeated, not by Hua Tianqing, but by Hua Tianqing's disciple, Liu. This revelation sent shivers down the spines of those present. Liu is so strong, how powerful must Hua Tianqing be? Haven't you heard? This fair-skinned man's strength is merely the result of a few pointers. Hua Tianqing's true power must be unfathomable. Is Master Qin from Jiangnan not coming? How could he dare to come? Coming would be tantamount to seeking death. Many whispered discussions ensued. In the recent battle, Liu had maintained the upper hand throughout, giving Bai Xiaoxiao no chance of victory. Both had been guided into the realm of grandmasters, yet the gap between them was immense, indicating that Master Qin was inferior to Hua Tianqing. If Master Qin were to come, it would only mean certain death. Now that you've been defeated, you must pay the price for challenging my master. Liu's low voice echoed as the crowd regained their senses, their faces filled with terror, realizing that this was about to turn deadly indeed. Liu's fist was surrounded by true energy, exuding an extremely fierce momentum. No! The members of the Fu family screamed out. With Bai Xiaoxiao's death, the Fu family would be completely finished. However, Liu paid no attention to their pleas. His fist ruthlessly aimed for Bai Xiaoxiao's head, intending to crush it in one blow. Many people showed horrified expressions, some even closed their eyes, unable to bear witnessing the impending tragedy. Ah! A wail rang out, instantly sending shivers down everyone's spine, signaling Bai Xiaoxiao's gruesome demise. Who? Just as everyone was horrified, Liu's angry voice resounded. Everyone turned to look, only to see Liu staggering backward, looking furious. Others wore equally puzzled expressions. What had just happened? Liu had flown out, but Bai Xiaoxiao hadn't died. What happened? Did you see what happened just now? I don't know. I just saw that blonde guy suddenly flying out for no reason. Exactly, it was inexplicable. Many people discussed, many others looked baffled. Liu had flown out with one punch, and yet Bai Xiaoxiao hadn't died. Master Qin. At that moment, Hua Tianqing, who had been silently observing, suddenly spoke, his gaze fixed on a certain spot. Master Qin? Upon hearing this, everyone's expression changed immediately, following Hua Tianqing's gaze to a group of dignitaries from Jiangnan, surrounding a figure. Naturally, that figure was Qin Fan. What matters will be discussed later, Qin Fan gestured with a wave of his hand. The people from Jiangnan stepped aside, allowing Qin Fan to proceed forward. Ninger, how did you and Master Qin come here? Zhang Tianxiang inquired, looking at Jiang Qingning beside him. Others also looked curiously at Jiang Qingning. Everyone had been focused on by Xiao Xiao, so Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning's sudden appearance was unexpected. We flew over, Jiang Qingning said, still somewhat shaken. Flew over? By plane? Jiang Tianxiang and his group looked puzzled, not understanding the meaning behind this. Seeing their confusion, Jiang Qingning felt it was impossible to explain, and even if she did, she felt no one would believe her. Qin Fan had brought her here, whooshing from the sky. It took only 3 minutes from Jiangcheng to here, covering a distance of over 600 kilometers in such a short time, which was quite astonishing. Therefore, Jiang Qingning was still in shock and incomprehension when she arrived here. Then, Qin Fan casually flicked his finger, sending the golden-haired one flying away in the distance. Throughout it all, Jiang Qingning had never fully understood what was happening. People could actually fly in the sky? Was this a divine being? Grandfather, this isn't the time for that discussion. What's the situation now? Jiang Qingning quickly asked. Dr. Fu has been defeated by the disciple of Hua Tianxing, Jiang Tianxiang said with great concern. Similarly, everyone's attention was now focused on Qin Fan. They had thought Qin Fan wouldn't appear, but now that he had suddenly shown up, it was indeed surprising to many. He's really here, but how did he come? Zhu Ke, holding a telescope, looked at Qin Fan with a puzzled expression. It seems like he just appeared out of nowhere, Kuanping said with a puzzled expression. We should focus on Liu and Bai Xiao Xiao on the mountain when that happened. Don't worry about this. Since he's here, let Hua Tianxing take action, Buzhanging said. Everyone nodded. In the current situation, who cared how Qin Fan appeared? What everyone cared about was how Qin Fan would deal with Hua Tianxing. No, before dealing with Hua Tianxing, they needed to deal with Liu. Could he really defeat Liu? Master Qin, we thought you were afraid and wouldn't dare to come, Wang Tianyi said with a half-smile. Give your Wang family more time to gather people, so that I can save the trouble of exterminating your entire Wang family, Qin Fan said. You're quite courageous, daring to boast in front of Master Hua. I admire you, Wang Tianyi laughed and said. You killed my disciple, and even more so, you killed my son. Hua Tianxing stood up, emanating a murderous intent, squinting at Qin Fan. After being sent flying, Liu felt a powerful but invisible aura, realizing that it was Master Qin who had made a move. Qin Fan frowned as he looked at Hua Tianxing, thinking to himself, does he have something on him? Why is the Chaos Pearl reacting? Just now, the distance was a bit far, but now that he was closer, the Chaos Pearl unexpectedly reacted. This feeling is similar to when I was at Lin Qingyin's old house. Qin Fan observed Hua Tianxing, wanting to use his divine sense to investigate. However, as soon as his divine sense entered Hua Tianxing's body, it disappeared. It's really the same, Qin Fan's heart moved. His divine sense disappeared, just like when he went to Lin Qingyin's old house. However, this also told Qin Fan some good news. The thing was indeed on Hua Tianxing's body. Did you kill Master Hua's son? At this moment, Liu had also returned, his eyes fiercely fixed on Qin Fan. He didn't know what had just happened, but this guy had definitely done something before. Is everyone here? Qin Fan completely ignored these people and asked. What do you mean? Wang Tianyi looked at Qin Fan, somewhat puzzled by his words. I'm asking you, are all the people here? If they're all here, then come together. If they're not, then let those people hurry up. Otherwise, it'll be a waste of time for me to kill them one by one, and I don't have that much time. Qin Fan said. Both Hua Tianxing and the Wang family were stunned, staring at Qin Fan with disbelief. It wasn't just them, everyone else also looked at Qin Fan with shocked expressions. Ha ha ha. Wang Tianyi couldn't help but burst into laughter. In terms of showing off, I really admire you. Showing off at the risk of your life. There's a saying in Xia country, the ignorant are fearless, and you are a living proof of that. Liu said to Qin Fan in somewhat affected Xia country language. Saying this, Liu made a move. Step aside, I want to personally kill him to honor my son. A voice rang out at this moment. Chapter 176, that makes it easier. Stand aside, I intend to personally end his life, to honor my son. The deep voice of Hua Tianxing resounded, causing Liu to cease his actions. All eyes converged upon Hua Tianxing upon hearing these words. At this moment, Hua Tianxing emitted a surge of crimson qi, as if his entire being was ablaze with flames as he approached Qin Fan. The aura he exuded made everyone's hearts tremble involuntarily.
With each step Hua Tianqing took, crimson flames ignited upon the ground, reducing everything around to ashes. The intensity of his presence far surpasses that of the two earlier. Compared to Hua Tianqing, those two were mere novices. After all, he was once ranked first on the Earth list, and now he has reached the realm of Grandmaster, truly terrifying. Moreover, observe how flames ignite with each of his steps. It is said that Grandmasters can harness the power of heaven and earth. What significance does controlling flames hold to them? Witnessing Hua Tianqing in this state, everyone couldn't help but reveal expressions of awe, with many even feeling inclined to kneel. At this moment, Hua Tianqing's aura was at its peak, fueled further by his resentment towards Qin Fan for killing his son, his murderous intent overwhelming under such imposing aura. Fear gripped all those present. Merely his presence alone conveyed to everyone the sheer strength of Hua Tianqing, rendering the prior confrontations with Fu Baishao and Liu utterly insignificant. So, this is a grandmaster, this is the adversary Qin Fan must face? Jiang Qingning couldn't help but cover her mouth in astonishment, her beautiful eyes filled with horror. Haven't seen him in over 20 years, and Hua Tianqing has already reached such a level? Fu Baishao, having been treated and regained consciousness, remarked, if I were to face him, I'm afraid I couldn't even withstand a single blow. Fu Baishao, being a grandmaster himself, understood grandmaster-level strength the best. At this moment, Hua Tianqing's strength was simply too astonishing, almost crushing in comparison. Upon hearing Fu Baishao's words, everyone couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. Colonel, Hua Tianqing's strength seems excessively formidable, does it not? Zhu Ke from the military department, though quite a distance away, still sensed the overwhelming aura emanating from Hua Tianqing. Is that Qin Fan truly going to confront such a monster? Kuanpun's body trembled. Colonel, should we contact the military department? Allowing such a person to wreak havoc will surely lead to disaster, reminded Song Lang. Contact? The Jiangnan military department lacks individuals of such caliber. If we wish to confront Hua Tianqing, we might have to request the presence of Major General Xiao Zhangnan, sighed but longing deeply. Zhu Ke and the others fell into silence. What should we do then? We can't just watch Qin Fan meet his end like this, Zhu Ke spoke up. Although she disliked Qin Fan greatly, she didn't wish to see him perish like this. But Longgang fell into silence. What could be done? There seemed to be no way out. Hua Tianqing's mere presence, without even lifting a finger, exuded such overwhelming force that it induced a sense of submission in those around him truly formidable. Master Qin, you have quite the audacity. First, you killed members of my Hua Tian sect, and then my son. Now, I shall personally end your life to honor them. Hua Tianqing's eyes blazed with crimson flames as he spoke solemnly. With each word he uttered, his aura surged by inches. After he finished speaking, the expressions of the onlookers changed, their breathing becoming uneasy. However, Qin Fan, who was closest to Hua Tianqing, remained unfazed. I am genuinely curious, what exactly resides within your body? Qin Fan scrutinized Hua Tianqing carefully. Anything that could elicit a response from the Chaos Pearl was certainly no ordinary object. Hence, his curiosity was piqued. However, upon hearing Qin Fan's inquiry, Hua Tianqing's expression shifted abruptly. Flames nearly erupted from his eyes as he extended his right palm and pressed it downward toward Qin Fan with a deafening roar. An immense and scorching wave of energy surged towards Qin Fan, causing the ground beneath him to shatter and collapse instantly. Witnessing this scene, those observing from afar were horrified. To shatter the ground with a single palm strike, especially when it was paved with extremely durable marble, displayed an unimaginable strength. What kind of power is this? Truly monstrous. At that moment, Qin Fan had vanished from his original position, prompting the onlookers to quickly search for him. Could he have been pulverized with a single strike? It's possible. Some speculated. Suddenly, Hua Tianqing's gaze shifted, and with a swift turn, he pointed his index finger forward. In an instant, a beam of crimson light, resembling a laser, shot forth. Qin Fan casually dodged the attack. You have quite the reflexes, remarked Hua Tianqing, gazing at Qin Fan. What exactly is inside you? If I were to kill you directly, would it disappear or cause any harm? Qin Fan inquired. Whatever resided within Hua Tianqing's body, capable of triggering a response from the Chaos Pearl, was of significant importance. However, Qin Fan couldn't ascertain its nature solely through his spiritual sense. Hua Tianqing's expression darkened upon hearing this. Seems like you do have some skill after all, he retorted. With that, he erupted in a brilliant crimson light, then lunged towards Qin Fan.
Hua Tianqing's speed was astonishing, appearing as a streak of fire to the onlookers.
In an instant, he reached Qin Fan and delivered a fierce punch.
Close quarters combat?
Qin Fan thought it was not a bad idea. Perhaps by engaging in close combat, he could discern the nature of that peculiar object within Hua Tianqing's body, while also testing the results of his recent physical cultivation. Thus, Qin Fan stood still, allowing Hua Tianqing to strike him fiercely.
Dead.
With this punch, he's finished. The members of the Wang family and Liu couldn't help but shout out, "Qin Fan, repent to my disciples and my son in hell," Hua Tianqing exclaimed as his fist slammed into Qin Fan's chest.
With a resounding boom, a powerful force erupted instantaneously, shattering the surrounding ground into countless fragments and engulfing the two figures in a cloud of dust, obscuring their view. Bang! 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 Bang!
A series of thunderous roars echoed continuously, indicating Hua Tianqing's consecutive attacks on Qin Fan. The spectators were filled with horror.
Is he trying to turn him into minced meat? So brutal.
Listening to these comments, everyone present trembled with fear and astonishment.
The hearts of those from Jiangnan almost leaped out of their chests.
Due to the dust, they couldn't see the situation clearly, but the terrifying sounds and the trembling ground were undeniable. It was as if a heavy artillery was relentlessly bombarding, intending to reduce everything to rubble Qin Fan.
Jiang Qingning couldn't help but scream. Qin Fan was facing a monster, a ferocious monster. Serves him right for showing off in front of me. He's going to be minced meat this time. Wang Tianyi sneered. Hua Master truly lives up to his reputation. With such strength, I'm afraid I won't be able to catch up even after decades of cultivation, Liu sighed. With Qin Fan gone, our White Dragon gang will be free from trouble, Rong Zhangyuan couldn't help but laugh.
After more than 20 consecutive thunderous booms, the sounds finally ceased. As the dust slowly settled, everyone widened their eyes, eager to see the outcome.
How is this possible?
However, the next moment, Liu's astonished voice rang out, and others displayed equally shocked expressions. In the distance, Hua Tianqing remained in his striking position, having delivered a punch to Qin Fan's chest. However, Qin Fan stood unscathed, not a single tear in his clothes. This. Hua Tianqing stared at Qin Fan in horror. His consecutive attacks had seemingly had no effect on him. He had been confident that his attacks could flatten the entire Mount Huahai. Yet, they proved futile against Qin Fan.
I see now. You possess a divine object within you.
However, you have no idea how to use it, or even how to refine it.
You've merely forced it into your body. That makes things easier.
Qin Fan grinned, lifting his hand and grabbing Hua Tianqing's chest.
In an instant, he pierced through Hua Tianqing's chest, emerging from his back with a pulsating mass of crimson flames in his palm. Chapter 177, I'm someone you can't afford to provoke. Qin Fan's movements were swift and decisive. His right hand pierced through Hua Tianqing's chest and emerged from his back.
Then, with a single pull, he withdrew his hand.
Splurt!
In an instant, blood spurted from Hua Tianqing's chest. His eyes widened, no sound escaping his lips. His body stiffened before collapsing to the ground, blood pooling beneath him, devoid of life.
The onlookers were left stupefied by the sight of Hua Tianqing's fall.
Especially the members of the Wang family, who had been smiling moments before, were frozen in shock.
Liu wore an expression of disbelief. Hua Tianqing was dead.
Just moments ago, he had exuded overwhelming dominance, intending to turn Qin Fan into pulp to honor his disciples and son. Yet, in the blink of an eye, he was gone.
Many couldn't believe it, let alone understand what had transpired.
As for Qin Fan, he paid no attention to whether Hua Tianqing lived or died. After all, a Grandmaster was merely at the foundation establishment stage, a lowly one at that. Killing a foundation establishment mid-stage with a nascent soul mid-stage cultivation was as simple as crushing an ant. If Qin Fan had hesitated and something unexpected had happened after annihilating Hua Tianqing, even if Hua Tianqing had not made a move, Qin Fan might have been turned to blood mist and vanished into thin air. Currently, Qin Fan held a pulsating mass of crimson flames he had drawn out, eyes reflecting astonishment.
He sensed a supremely high-level power emanating from it.
Moreover, the aura emitted by these flames bore a striking resemblance to that of the Chaos Pearl. Thus, he wanted to ascertain its true nature. However, before he could inspect further, the Chaos Pearl immediately floated out and devoured the peculiar flames.
Then, swiftly, it entered his brow.
As the Chaos Pearl entered his sea of consciousness, Qin Fan felt it undergo some changes.
I'll study you later.
Quickly regaining his composure, Qin Fan knew it wasn't the time to study the Chaos Pearl. There were matters at hand.
Are all your people assembled?
If they are, let's proceed together. Qin Fan's gaze swept over the Wang family members, then he asked calmly. His words instantly brought everyone back to their senses. The members of the Wang family were dumbstruck. Qin Fan's implication was clear, he was truly prepared to wipe out the entire Wang family. But with Qin Fan effortlessly killing Hua Tianqing, there wasn't anyone present who could stand against him.
Master Qin.
We don't actually have any conflicting interests, stuttered Wang Hai, the head of the Wang family.
No need to talk to me about interests.
I've said I'll exterminate the entire Wang family, and I intend to keep my word, Qin Fan responded curtly.
With that, Qin Fan raised his hand and casually pointed into the air.
Instantly, Wang Hai's body exploded, turning into a mist of blood that dissipated into thin air. After killing Wang Hai, Qin Fan continued his onslaught, seemingly randomly selecting targets. Whoever he pointed to exploded, turning into a mist of blood and dissipating. This method of killing was extremely shocking, eliciting horrified expressions from all who witnessed it. The members of the Wang family screamed and began to flee frantically. However, they had no hope of escape.
Where do you think you're running to?
You're all just waiting to meet your end. People from the Yuan family, the Fu family, the White Dragon Gang, and those from Jiangnan swiftly intervened, blocking the escape routes of the Wang family members.
Was Qin Fan ruthless in his actions? Undoubtedly. It could even be described as excessively cruel.
However, if Qin Fan had died at the hands of Hua Tianqing, the Wang family would have turned around and done the same cruel things to them. This was reality: the weak perish while the strong prevail. The Wang family was currently the weaker party, so they had no choice but to bear the consequences.
Young man, that's enough.
Just then, a somewhat hoarse voice suddenly rang out. Hearing this voice, everyone turned their heads to see an elderly man in plain clothes standing not far away. This old man had white hair and a white beard, giving him an ethereal appearance. Senior Jiang, please save us, save the Wang family. Wang Tianyi, who was fleeing, caught sight of the old man and immediately showed a glimmer of hope. In an instant, he felt that he might be saved.
Qin Fan looked at the old man, his brow furrowing slightly. Are you planning to protect the Wang family?
I am Zhang Yuanzheng of the Xinling sect.
I will protect these people from the Wang family.
You can stop now, the old man said indifferently, his tone dripping with arrogance.
Chapter 177, I'm someone you can't afford to provoke. Qin Fan's movements were swift and decisive. His right hand pierced through Hua Tianqing's chest and emerged from his back.
Then, with a single pull, he withdrew his hand.
Splurt!
In an instant, blood spurted from Hua Tianqing's chest. His eyes widened, no sound escaping his lips. His body stiffened before collapsing to the ground, blood pooling beneath him, devoid of life.
The onlookers were left stupefied by the sight of Hua Tianqing's fall.
Especially the members of the Wang family, who had been smiling moments before, were frozen in shock.
Leo wore an expression of disbelief. Hua Tianqing was dead.
Just moments ago, he had exuded overwhelming dominance, intending to turn Qin Fan into pulp to honor his disciples and son. Yet, in the blink of an eye, he was gone.
Many couldn't believe it, let alone understand what had transpired.
As for Qin Fan, he paid no attention to whether Hua Tianqing lived or died. After all, a grandmaster was merely at the foundation establishment stage, a lowly one at that. Killing a foundation establishment mid-stage with a nascent soul mid-stage cultivation was as simple as crushing an ant. If Qin Fan had hesitated and something unexpected had happened after annihilating Hua Tianqing, even if Hua Tianqing had not made a move, Qin Fan might have been turned to blood mist and vanished into thin air. Currently, Qin Fan held a pulsating mass of crimson flames he had drawn out, eyes reflecting astonishment.
He sensed a supremely high-level power emanating from it.
Moreover, the aura emitted by these flames bore a striking resemblance to that of the Chaos Pearl. Thus, he wanted to ascertain its true nature. However, before he could inspect further, the Chaos Pearl immediately floated out and devoured the peculiar flames.
Then, swiftly, it entered his brow.
As the Chaos Pearl entered his sea of consciousness, Qin Fan felt it undergo some changes.
I'll study you later.
Quickly regaining his composure, Qin Fan knew it wasn't the time to study the Chaos Pearl. There were matters at hand.
Are all your people assembled?
If they are, let's proceed together. Qin Fan's gaze swept over the Wang family members, then he asked calmly. His words instantly brought everyone back to their senses. The members of the Wang family were dumbstruck. Qin Fan's implication was clear, he was truly prepared to wipe out the entire Wang family. But with Qin Fan effortlessly killing Hua Tianqing, there wasn't anyone present who could stand against him.
Master Qin.
We don't actually have any conflicting interests, stuttered Wang Hai, the head of the Wang family.
No need to talk to me about interests.
I've said I'll exterminate the entire Wang family, and I intend to keep my word, Qin Fan responded curtly.
With that, Qin Fan raised his hand and casually pointed into the air.
Instantly, Wang Hai's body exploded, turning into a mist of blood that dissipated into thin air. After killing Wang Hai, Qin Fan continued his onslaught, seemingly randomly selecting targets. Whoever he pointed to exploded, turning into a mist of blood and dissipating. This method of killing was extremely shocking, eliciting horrified expressions from all who witnessed it. The members of the Wang family screamed and began to flee frantically. However, they had no hope of escape.
Where do you think you're running to?
You're all just waiting to meet your end. People from the Yuan family, the Fu family, the White Dragon Gang, and those from Jiangnan swiftly intervened, blocking the escape routes of the Wang family members.
Was Qin Fan ruthless in his actions? Undoubtedly. It could even be described as excessively cruel.
However, if Qin Fan had died at the hands of Hua Tianqing, the Wang family would have turned around and done the same cruel things to them. This was reality: the weak perish while the strong prevail. The Wang family was currently the weaker party, so they had no choice but to bear the consequences.
Young man, that's enough.
Just then, a somewhat hoarse voice suddenly rang out. Hearing this voice, everyone turned their heads to see an elderly man in plain clothes standing not far away. This old man had white hair and a white beard, giving him an ethereal appearance. Senior Jiang, please save us, save the Wang family. Wang Tianyi, who was fleeing, caught sight of the old man and immediately showed a glimmer of hope. In an instant, he felt that he might be saved. Qin Fan looked at the old man, his brow furrowing slightly.
Are you planning to protect the Wang family?
I am Zhang Yuanzhang of the Xinling sect. I will protect these people from the Wang family. You can stop now, the old man said indifferently, his tone dripping with arrogance.
Xinling sect's elder.
He's actually an elder of the Xinling sect.
Many people couldn't help but exclaim upon hearing the other party's origin.
The reason why the Wang family became so ambitious was because Wang Xinru had joined the Xinling sect and was later accepted as a direct disciple by the sect master. The Xinling sect was a hidden sect. Such sects had been passed down for at least 1,000 years in the Xia kingdom, with countless grandmasters and even rumors of ancient monsters surpassing the grandmaster realm and reaching the realm of gods. The Xinling sect was definitely not something secular forces could afford to offend.
Wang Tianyi hastily crawled to Zhang Yuanzhang's side.
At this moment, he felt as if he had been saved. The fact that an elder from the Xinling sect had come at this critical moment was unexpected. Since Zhang Yuanzhang, this elder, stated he would protect the Wang family, it meant that this was the will of the Xinling sect. Anyone who dared to disobey the will of the Xinling sect would only need death.
Are you sure you want to protect the Wang family?
Qin Fan looked at Zhang Yuanzhang with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Yes, I will protect the Wang family. If you stop now, I won't hold you accountable, Zhang Yuanzhang said indifferently, his deep eyes seeming to see through Qin Fan.
Can you really protect them?
Qin Fan asked. I always keep my word, Zhang Yuanzhang replied coldly.
Ah.
However, just as his words fell, Wang Tianyi suddenly let out a piercing scream from behind him.
Everyone watched as Wang Tianyi's body flew into the air and continued to expand.
Zhang Yuanzhang tried to react and intervene, but he was too late.
Boom! Before anyone could react, Wang Tianyi's body exploded, blood and viscera showering Zhang Yuanzhang.
The sudden explosion felt like a slap to Zhang Yuanzhang's face, causing his body to tremble slightly, even his beard quivered.
Why don't you try protecting them?
Qin Fan looked at Zhang Yuanzhang with a smile that wasn't quite a smile.
Bang! 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 Bang!
As Qin Fan's words fell, the remaining members of the Wang family, including the white-skinned Liu, exploded one by one, turning into blood mist and dissipating. Everyone was stunned by this scene, even Jiang Yuanzhang, who was still seething with anger. What kind of method was this? In an instant, over 20 remaining members of the Wang family were dead. As a grandmaster, he couldn't even see how Qin Fan had made his move, let alone provide any rescue. The method you just used isn't martial arts, it's Taoism, and it even surpasses Taoism. Who exactly are you? Jiang Yuanzhang steadied his emotions and asked. You don't need to ask about my origin. Just remember, I'm someone you can't afford to provoke from the Xianling sect, Qin Fan replied with a smile. Chapter 178, Update on the Heavenly Ranking. Young man, do you comprehend the gravity of your words? Jiang Yuanzhang's countenance darkened upon hearing Qin Fan's discourse. Qin Fan's recent display was astonishingly remarkable. Indeed, however, he was, undoubtedly, not one to be trifled with. Yet, to provoke the Xianling sect would be an act of utmost folly. I am fully cognizant of my words, and I also hope that your esteemed Xianling sect comprehends their import, Qin Fan remarked nonchalantly, his words carrying a veiled warning. Young man, it appears you possess some semblance of stature, but be aware, in this world, there are always higher peaks beyond the mountains you perceive. Your actions today, taken with such finality, shall not lead to a favorable outcome, Jiang Yuanzhang retorted, his expression turning cold. If an unfavorable outcome awaits, then I am keen to ascertain its nature. Qin Fan chuckled softly. Suddenly, he flicked his finger, unleashing a surge of mana towards Jiang Yuanzhang's dantian. Ah! In the next instant, Jiang Yuanzhang let out a pained cry as his body was sent flying backwards, crashing onto the ground. Subsequently, Jiang Yuanzhang struggled to his feet, his complexion pallid as he gazed at Qin Fan Yu. How dare you? How dare you cripple my cultivation? Witnessing this scene, the onlookers were utterly dumbfounded. Despite Qin Fan disclosing his identity, he still dared to act, even going so far as to incapacitate an elder of the Xianling sect. It was utterly preposterous. Did he not comprehend the might of the Xianling sect? You have 1 minute. Leave now, and you may spare your life. Otherwise, your fate shall be sealed, Qin Fan stated calmly. Feeling the weight of Qin Fan's gaze, Jiang Yuanzhang shivered involuntarily before hastily fleeing. He couldn't fathom how, under the orders of the sect master of the Xianling sect, he had come to support the Wang family, only to witness them being completely obliterated, and then to have his cultivation crippled by another. As an elder of the Xianling sect, he was treated with utmost reverence by every household in the mortal realm. To have his cultivation crippled and then flee ignominiously was an outcome he had never imagined. After returning, I will undoubtedly report this matter to the sect. The Xianling sect will never let this go unanswered. Jiang Yuanzhang's heart turned ice cold. He would never let Qin Fan off the hook, and neither would the Xianling sect. After Jiang Yuanzhang's hasty departure, a deathly silence enveloped the scene, with none daring to speak. Very well, the matter is concluded. Let us depart, Qin Fan declared. With his words, the individuals from Jiangnan snapped back to reality, quickly following Qin Fan. As for the inhabitants of Huahai City, they were left trembling in awe. Our decision, Hong Lai, was indeed correct. Master Qin's prowess renders our allegiance to the Yuan family akin to that of faithful hounds. The patriarch of the Yuan family observed Qin Fan's departure, addressing Yuan Honglai thereafter. Yuan Honglai sighed in response, after years of conflict between our Yuan family and the Wang family, I never imagined the Wangs would meet such an end. The members of the Yuan family remained speechless at his words. Honglai grasped tightly onto Master Qin's coattails, the patriarch of the Yuan family advised. Yuan Honglai nodded in acknowledgement, understanding that although the Wang family had fallen, there would be many more challenges ahead. Their choice was clear, to cling steadfastly to Qin Fan, or face annihilation. You all witnessed it. From now on, let us faithfully serve as Master Qin's loyal followers. There is no need for other aspirations, remarked Rong Zhenyuan of the White Dragon Gang, his tone tinged with resignation. Guan Meihong and Li Changfeng nodded in agreement. Being a follower was not dishonorable, especially when following such a formidable individual. Thank goodness our Fu family established ties with Master Qin. Otherwise. Fu Baishao sighed as he watched Qin Fan depart, a sense of relief washing over him. The members of the Fu family shared his sentiment, relieved that their patriarch's decision had spared them a fate similar to the Wangs. Meanwhile, Colonel Bu Zhang and his comrades from the military were enveloped in silence.
Colonel, isn't Qin Fan's ruthlessness excessive? How dare he commit such killings, especially within the borders of Xia country? Zhu Ke finally broke the silence after a prolonged pause. There's no need to say more.
I will inform the commander-in-chief, and he shall make the final decision, Colonel Bu Zhang replied, feeling at a loss for words.
Qin Fan's power and methods far exceeded their expectations.
This was beyond their capability to handle. It was a matter for the higher echelons of the military. The others could only resign themselves to this reality.
Strength indeed permitted one to act with impunity.
Soon, the crowd dispersed from Huahai Mountain, and news of the massacre of the Wang family by Master Qin spread like wildfire. No one in Huahai City could have anticipated the swift downfall of the once mighty Wang family. Truly, as one watches a towering building rise, one may also witness its collapse. Similar incidents on Huahai Mountain swiftly spread throughout Jiangnan and Huahai, reaching even the far reaches of Xia country and beyond. This earned Qin Fan a memorable epithet, Master Qin of Jiangnan, a formidable figure who slew Hua Tianqing and crippled Zhang Yuanzhang. Overseas, at the Hua Tian Gate. After news of Hua Tianqing's death reached the Hua Tian Gate, a brief period of chaos ensued before it was quelled by Hua Tianqing's second disciple, Gaoda, who then ascended to become the new gate master. However, the debt owed for Hua Tianqing's death had to be repaid. Yet, Gaoda knew that the Hua Tian Gate was powerless to avenge itself against Master Qin. Thus, he made a decision to align the Hua Tian Gate with one of the top Western powers, the Temple. Currently, as Xia country faced encirclement and suppression by the West, the emergence of Master Qin posed a threat that the West would never tolerate. Therefore, it could be predicted that Master Qin would soon face a siege from numerous Western experts.
Xianling sect.
Zhang Yuanzhang fled back to the Xianling sect in a sorry state, recounting everything to the sect's higher-ups.
Upon learning of the news, the Xianling sect's leaders were incensed, vowing to journey to Jiangnan immediately to slay Master Qin. Let's hand Master Qin over to Ruer. Let him be Ruer's whetstone, decided Xianling sect Master Gu Shangyang, finally settling the matter for the time being.
Though the decision temporarily quelled the unrest, they knew the sect master's choice was the correct one. Wang Xinru possessed exceptional talent and, under the guidance of the sect master and several elders, had the opportunity to break through to the divine realm. As for Qin Fan, he would serve as the whetstone to sharpen Wang Xinru's ascent to the divine realm.
Jiangnan Military Headquarters. Commander, this is the situation.
The decision is yours to make, Colonel Bu Zhang reported to Xia Yangguang. After listening to everything, Xia Yangguang glanced at the S-level mission dossier on the table and made a decision. If we can't have him as an instructor, then let's assign him this S-level mission.
There's no other choice.
In Qinghe City, Jinyi ancient town, at the Lin family's old residence. Lin Qingyan accompanied her grandmother and said, "Grandma, Dar.
Catherine's medical skills are exceptional. Why don't you come back to Jiangcheng with me?"
"Oh, I'm quite comfortable here," Yang Li smiled.
Lin Qingyan couldn't help but feel helpless.
She had been here for 3 days, trying to convince her grandmother to return to Jiangcheng for treatment by Dr. Catherine, but to no avail. "Madam, there's a call for you," the housekeeper rushed over with a cell phone.
"Who is it?" Yang Li asked. "It's Wang Lu," the housekeeper replied. Wang Lu's call? Lin Qingyan was curious and wanted to eavesdrop.
"All right, Qingyan, let me talk to Wang Lu alone," Yang Li waved her hand. Lin Qingyan could only move aside reluctantly.
After Lin Qingyan left, Yang Li answered the call and heard Wang Lu's voice. "Madam, the celestial ranking of the Xianmen has suddenly been updated." Yang Li's calm expression changed abruptly. "What? Has an unparalleled Grandmaster emerged, prompting an early update?"
"Madam, Qin Fan has ascended to the celestial ranking." Wang Lu paused for a moment before saying very seriously.
Clatter.
Yang Li's phone slipped from her hand.
"Grandma."
Lin Qingyan rushed over, picked up the phone, and handed it back to her. "Qingyan, as long as you marry Qin Fan, I will return to Jiangcheng for treatment," Yang Li said to Lin Qingyan. The celestial ranking updates once every 20 years, with only 50 grandmasters reaching the celestial realm able to ascend. Those who reach the celestial ranking are unparalleled figures of their time, capable of rivaling the strength of a medium-sized nation. The early update of the Xianmen celestial ranking is exceptionally rare. Each premature update signifies the emergence of a grandmaster who ascends to the celestial ranking. This time, the Xianmen celestial ranking advanced 10 years ahead of schedule, all due to Qin Fan. Now, Qin Fan's name graces the celestial ranking, ranking among the top 50. However, this is routine,
as newcomers inevitably fill the 50 slots. Once a newcomer ascends, the individual previously ranked 50th naturally disappears from the list. More importantly, once the celestial ranking updates, it enters a dynamic ranking phase for a period. This stimulates grandmasters who aspire to ascend or climb higher on the ranking. Thus, grandmasters of the celestial realm are stirred into action. As Qin Fan has just ascended to the celestial ranking, he becomes the primary target for other grandmasters, especially those who have been displaced from the top 50. They will undoubtedly challenge Qin Fan to reclaim their position. From this moment on, the martial world of Xia country will be lively for a while. Qin Fan, however, remains indifferent to it all. Such rankings are mere jokes to him. His primary concern now lies in studying the Chaos Pearl after absorbing the essence of fire. Feihong Mountain, Villa No. 1. Upon his return, Qin Fan, utilizing his mystical spells, cleansed the overgrown vegetation surrounding the villa. To his surprise, the burst of life energy emitted by the wood had such an effect, indicating its pure vitality. Once the cleanup was complete, Qin Fan instructed Catherine to guard the area. Forbidding anyone from approaching. Catherine was indignant at being relegated to the role of a gatekeeper without even speaking a word. Nonetheless, she had no choice but to accept it. She moved a chair and lay down in the courtyard near the main gate. Inside the house, Qin Fan released the Chaos Pearl and observed it carefully. Qin Fan had possessed the Chaos Pearl for over 200 years and had never ceased exploring its mysteries. Thus, he was extremely familiar with it. Due to this familiarity, when the Chaos Pearl underwent a change, he immediately sensed it. The Chaos Pearl is more complete. Qin Fan's heart raced. Simultaneously, a distant memory resurfaced. Qin Fan, I now entrust the Chaos Pearl to you. Though it is incomplete, it can still aid in your cultivation. You must complete it, as it is fate. I hope you can revive our Tianqin clan. The ancestral patriarch of the Tianqin clan had entrusted the incomplete Chaos Pearl to Qin Fan before his death. At that time, Qin Fan was only 15 years old. In the blink of an eye, over 200 years had passed, and Qin Fan had been so engrossed in cultivation, vengeance, and battles that he had forgotten about completing the Chaos Pearl. The Chaos Pearl is indeed incomplete, and the missing part is actually on Earth. Qin Fan was astonished as he recalled everything. Earth, a place Qin Fan had always considered spiritually deficient and devoid of cultivation civilization. However, he hadn't expected that the missing part of the Chaos Pearl would be located there. It turns out the Chaos Pearl guided me here to complete itself. Qin Fan murmured as he looked at the Chaos Pearl before him. At this moment, Qin Fan sensed a power emanating from the Chaos Pearl that he had never felt before. The Tao of Fire. The flame that the Chaos Pearl had previously absorbed must have been the missing part of the Tao of Fire. By assimilating this Tao of Fire, I can refine my body and become a sacred body of heavenly flames. Qin Fan's expression lit up with joy. Without hesitation, Qin Fan immediately began his cultivation, using the essence of the Tao of Fire to refine his body. Wave after wave of scorching aura surged into Qin Fan's body, transforming into searing spiritual energy that permeated his limbs and bones, continuously tempering his body and even propelling his cultivation forward. Unaware of the passage of time, it wasn't until 5 days later that Qin Fan finally woke from his cultivation. Excellent! Not only have I successfully refined my body, but my cultivation has also advanced. As long as I find a few items to complement the Chaos Pearl, my cultivation should be able to reach the late Yuan infant stage. After concluding his cultivation, Qin Fan assessed his current cultivation level. At this moment, with his heavenly flame sacred body infused with the essence of the Fire Tao and aided by the Chaos Pearl, he had made some progress. Now, he possessed both the everlasting youthful body and the heavenly flame sacred body. If he could find the materials to refine the gold, wood, and water elements, he could achieve the 5 elemental sacred bodies. Qin Fan hadn't forgotten his purpose for coming to Earth, to advance to the nascent divinity realm and then return to the Qingxian starfield for vengeance. Upon his return, he would face numerous enemies, including many nascent divinity realm cultivators. Therefore, he needed to become stronger. In addition to advancing to the nascent divinity realm, he now had another path to becoming stronger, and he wouldn't miss out on it. The missing parts of the Chaos Pearl should be related to the Tao. I need to find them on Earth. Apart from the fire element, the only clue I have is the location of Lin Qingyan's ancestral home. I'll have to make another trip there when the time is right to see if I can find anything. Qin Fan pondered. Sensing the missing parts of the Chaos Pearl would be possible when it was near, but Earth was vast,
making the search akin to finding a needle in a haystack. For now, Xin Fan hadn't come up with a good solution, but Lin Qingyan's ancestral home still held a clue to the missing parts of the Chaos Pearl, making it his next target. He needed to retrieve it.
Master, have you finished?
Catherine's voice came from outside the door. Xin Fan heard her voice, immediately concealing his aura, retracting the Chaos Pearl, and then stood up and walked out. As he stepped out, he was slightly surprised to find that the vegetation around the villa had withered. What's going on? Xin Fan asked, puzzled. Master, did you practice some strange technique that raised the temperature around here, causing these plants to wither? Catherine asked Xin Fan. Indeed, my cultivation practice now generates quite a disturbance. This villa is too small, I must make this entire mountain my own. Xin Fan pondered for a moment, formulating a plan. He decided to claim Feihong Mountain as his own, turning the entire mountain into a paradise for cultivation. Contact Zhang Qingning and the others. But before that, prepare something for her. Xin Fan thought for a moment and then walked towards the garden.